Oh, I'm seeing something on my end. It's a screen. It says stream starting soon.
God, I'm just gonna turn my light on. Just one sec.
Hmm? Oh, that intro
Otherwise, the
screen
game will be too
looks cool.
scary.
I'm gonna go let people know that we're streaming.
Oh, it works. Gonna pop the chat out. Hello, we already have two people here. But Awas and Aris, hello. I'm just gonna pop out the chat.
Welcome,
That
welcome.
is better. It is a surprise stream.
Gotta keep everybody on their toes.
Oh, good. Okay, we got Luna. We got Punished Raider. Maggie, hello.
Hi. Oh, we got a new member.
Oh my god, and it's Paul
Hi.
Ryan.
Hi.
That's where he's been.
See you again. Ian, Maggie, Luna, Punisher, Eris, Wes, Thens. We got the legendary Thens on stream with us yet again.
Okay, so Sin, what do you think of this game so far, having never seen it before?
I'm gonna predict that it's a Souls-like with an element of comedy.
It's pretty funny.
I mean, I think a knight just got squashed.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Oh my god, Ian! Thank you!
Oh, thank you, Maggie. Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's 12 a.m. here.
It's like 8 something, 8:18 here. AM. In the AM. Wait, Maggie's saying it's 5 a.m., so I should probably sleep soon, implying she hasn't slept yet. Hardcore. Sophie,
Yes.
we have to give a shout out to a bear punching a shark.
Uh-huh.
He's actually going through the entire Reborn catalog and watching along with our
Oh my
watch
god,
along
that's so good.
commentary. I didn't think anybody would, but we have at least one person, and we really appreciate it.
So do you want to talk about, like, what this is? Like, why we're doing this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This sort of ties into the anime thing, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Because, we're gonna do two things this year a little differently. So the first thing is, like you were talking to Bear Punching a Shark about, is that, like, from now on, when we do an anime thing, we are going to record ourselves watching it, like, the first time. Or at least, like, one of the first times for us. So, like, if I get you to watch something, it'll be your first time. And if you get me to watch Reborn, obviously you're an expert. So, get my reaction to it. And we're going to release those probably just on the Patreon as, like, an MP3 or something.
Yeah.
So you effectively will get commentary tracks to the things that we watch. But what we're doing here is, people may remember our misbegotten and largely, like, ignored retro gaming series, Gaming in the Yeltsin Years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really go anywhere.
That series.
Yeah. Yeah, because we are addicted to starting and then not finishing series. So we decided that, like, from now on, if we're ever going to cover like an older game or an older series that like I know about and Sin doesn't,
Uh-huh.
we'll start by streaming together like an episode, not an episode, like an hour or something of the game,
Mhm.
with me
Yeah.
sort of running through it with Sin, so she roughly knows what we're talking about when we get to it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
Mhm.
sort of what we're doing here.
Mhm.
Because I really we recorded one on Kirby that's not out yet.
No.
But
It's
we're gonna do. I want to do the Deception series at some point because it's
Mhm.
a series like that I'm a big fan of, and like I know a lot of people that watch this are big fans as well.
Mhm.
Like I know Dahlia's a fan, and like Redgrave's a fan, and occasionally I'll mention it, and people will be like, "Oh my god, Deception!" So this is a series that like it started obviously on the PS1, and it's a very very weird series that I've brought up a bunch of times. I call it reverse survival horror, in that it's essentially a survival horror game from the perspective of the monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it starts off as this sort of like first-person, vaguely Kingsfield-looking thing.
Yeah.
You'll notice that like what's happening in the demo thing is like that knight has come into our castle. So and we're trying to like either kill him or scare him off.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the ideal game that I've been waiting for because I always talk on stream about how we're the ones intruding into somebody's space. We're
Yes,
the ones
yeah,
killing
yeah,
people. Yeah, we're no
yeah,
hero,
yeah,
and it's shown by this game.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we're gonna play this for a little bit. Probably like it's 20 past when we said we'd start now because we took a while to set up. So we'll play this for a little bit, and then I want to get onto the second one, which is called Kagero Deception 2.
Whoa.
And that's sort of, I think that's my favorite of them. There's four of them. There's like technically five. There's four
Okay.
that are called Deception, but there's like a fifth one that's called Trapped, but it's spelled Trapt. And
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Trapita, a reference to the hit
Okay.
Flash adventure game Trapped, starring a pre-2B Kyra Buckland. Um, and like that's one that's a little weird. Like I have a copy of it, but I've not really gotten the hang of it, and
Mhm.
it's a weird situation where I got a PAL release, but it's entirely in Japanese.
Mhm.
It's actually pretty rare. So yeah, I
Okay.
think we might get started on this. I'll
Yeah.
just
Let's
switch
go.
over to the stream. Hello. And yes, Sin will probably use like the footage that we get from this in the actual video that we do. So
Mhm.
let's get deceptive.
Let's get deceptive.
I like how it's called Tecmo's Deception, not to be confused with other deceptions. I guess Tecmo were kind of a selling point. They were a reasonably popular company. I guess
Yeah?
now they're best known for Dead
What
or
did they
Alive.
do? Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, that's
interestingly, this series like kind of takes a leaf out of the Dead or Alive playbook, and by the fourth game, it's basically just women in bikinis spanking people. But at this point,
Yes. Yeah.
it's kind of a weird sort of gothic horror thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What should we call ourselves?
Um, um, oh my God, you can't do this to me, Sophie. It takes me at least 7 hours to set up a character, and the name takes at least four.
Okay.
Trish. Trish comes to mind.
Okay.
Stacy, Eagle, Desk, Chair, Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is actually watching the stream with us.
Yeah.
He's behind me.
Baby
Yeah.
Yoda's. Should we say Grogu?
No,
Okay.
that's
We'll
not his
do.
name. His name
We'll
is
do.
Baby Yoda.
We'll do. Oh, we have some Tecmo fans in the chat.
Nice. Welcome,
Nice.
welcome.
Just fix this a little bit. This shirt, like every shirt I own, was bought at a thrift store.
Oh my God, thrift stores are the best.
Yeah.
You can get so many limited edition mugs from thrift stores for like 50 cents.
Okay, so we're the Prince of Zemeckis and her name is Trish.
Some Zemeckis and Trish.
Trish has returned from his journey. So despite being like a first-person game with a silent protagonist, you have no
Yeah.
choice but to be like the Prince of Zemeckis.
Yeah. You know what it makes me think of?
Mhm.
Actually, this is like, it would make sense because Zemeki, is it? Um, Zemekians probably speak Zemekian,
Yeah, and they have
and
whatever accent people have in Zemeckis.
yes, that,
It's a little
and
reference to an
also,
Elden Ring lore video we watched.
and also,
Mm-hmm.
maybe in their language, like he, she,
Yeah, yeah,
they,
yeah.
one word is used
That's
for those
true. Yeah,
terms.
yeah,
So sometimes Jamaicans have a hard time like remembering, that, oh, you use he in this situation and she in this situation.
yeah.
So,
I think you've put more thought
yeah.
into Zemeckis than the people who made the game. So this is the classic. The PS1 has just come out and doesn't have analog sticks control system. It's a little
Okay, okay,
clunky. It's a little clunky. Get
okay.
a map.
Hmm.
A lot of things happen. I don't know if we're going to see everything, but a lot of things happen in the first Deception game that they never do again, including the first person.
Okay.
Yep. This game also, interestingly, I remember I actually I still have a physical copy of this, and it took
Hmm.
up an entire memory card. Like
Whoa.
one game of Deception required its own dedicated memory card, which we will see. Like, kind of, maybe we'll get to why.
Okay.
Yep.
Sophie, could you go back to the knight that's protecting the castle? That's your knight, right?
Um.
Like a
For,
friend.
well, from the thing about this game is like it starts with you sort of being like you make a pact with someone.
Hmm.
I actually haven't played this for a while, and I forgot the beginning of this deep and complex story.
Okay.
But the idea is like there's this thing called the Power of Darkness that's somewhere in the castle, and we're Prince Trish.
We're Prince
We're
Trish.
Prince Trish, and we've come here looking for the thing in the.
Mhm. You know, this looks like a new game that's trying to be a
Yeah,
PlayStation
yeah,
1 game.
yeah.
Like, it's very cool. Like, it doesn't look underwhelming, you know?
Well, another part of it is like because we're playing on an emulator, that's like it's making it a
Hmm.
little crisper. I think it's getting rid of the affine texture warping that the PS1 did a lot of. Where like
Okay.
the the textures they were done in triangles and the triangles wouldn't quite line up properly, so things would sort of like the Bloodborne PS1 remake actually does that. You have an option in the
Hmm.
menu to bring back PS1 texture warping.
Oh,
Good
cool.
afternoon, them hrum.
Oh my God, Baron the Tutu.
Everyone's here.
Hello, hello. Citrus.
Yeah, it
All
does.
the
It has
cool
a
people
really
are
good
here.
aesthetic.
Yeah.
This is middle of room, and this is Lugden room.
Middle of room. Why is it? Is this in the what is the place called again?
Zemeckis.
This is it
That's where Robert
Zemeckis? Are we
Zemeckis
learning
is from.
Zemeckis? What?
That's where Robert Zemeckis, director of the Polar Express, is from.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Yeah, Bear pointing out this looks better than Kingsfield.
Yeah, actually.
Um, I get the thing about Kingsfield, which like I think is lost on modern audiences, because
Hmm.
I am a wizened crone who is old as the wind, is that one of the selling points of Kingsfield is it didn't have loading times. Um,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
So a
oh.
lot of Kingsfield is like very basic textures and very long hallways to just give the
Hmm.
game time to load. Whereas this game, it's like one very, very small environment.
Hmm. So, do all these people live here, or are they just
No, the
visiting your
idea is
castle?
this is like a prequel part. We're not actually really playing the game yet. This is just setting
Okay,
up how
okay.
this place works.
All right.
So the idea is that there's something in this castle that's going to give us like a whole lot of power,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone is here looking for it.
Okay. You gotta find it before everybody else does, Sophie.
I know, better hurry up. I found this when I was 12. Looting me now. I don't even
You know,
remember this
yeah.
existing. I own this game and parts of it
Oh,
still make no sense to me. Oh, here we go, okay.
yeah, this is
So we're
cool.
getting into how
You
this
know?
game kind
Mhm.
of works, which is the trap system.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, he's locked me in here. Frick.
oh my God. Patches?
Honestly, yeah. Um,
So this is some sort of a puzzle with the triangles?
see what those are? Those are the traps, like you saw in the intro. So
Okay.
when we spoilers, when we get control of the castle,
Oh,
we will
that's
be.
so
There you go.
cool.
That's the texture warping. Close to it. There's possibly a hidden door in here. Oh, hey, we got another one. Another Deception fan in the chat.
Oh my God, Bo!
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome, welcome.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and
Platypus Practicus is a Deception fan.
all the fans are coming.
Yep. I know Redgrave's a fan, and he's not here, though. Dahlia played Kagero a lot.
Okay.
I've
Oh, look at
somehow...
that. There's a cage. Whoa. How did you do that?
Actually, don't remember. There we go.
So, you killed the merchant.
No, he's still alive. What's your problem? Oh, yeah, the sign is showing you the order to do the traps in.
Yeah.
The problem is it doesn't show you the sign once you're already in the room. Bye bye, bear. Okay, so hang on, I have to check. The sign hangs. Okay, so it's football cage. Okay. Yeah, it is actually a lot like Dungeon Keeper.
Hmm.
Down to an aspect of it that we'll actually see later on if we make any progress. This is a very like long-term sort of thing.
Thanks for coming, Tutu.
Yeah,
See you
thank you.
later. Give Lupin a kiss for us.
So we briefly saw like a weird vampire lady. She is going to be important. Symbol of Satan is carved.
Did it say symbol of Satan?
It did say symbol of Satan. Considering you couldn't
What?
get away with that beforehand.
Then.
Is layout static? It actually isn't. That's why the game takes up a full memory card. We'll see.
So intrigued, like I'm
Love those
holding my
letters are
breath to
etched.
see what's
Thank
gonna
you.
happen next.
What letters? It's just letters, I guess.
Maybe we need to like decode and learn their language to beat this.
Yeah, you needed one whole memory card for this one. Well, okay, there were two ways of doing it. That dude is still chasing. He's gonna slice us.
Oh no! So, as Prince Trish,
As Prince Trish.
do you have any like weapons to defend yourself?
You will eventually, but the traps are like how you're supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You know the guy that chases us? He gives me a Michael vibe. Like he doesn't walk too fast. He has a knife and a mask.
Oh, Mike Myers.
Yes, yeah,
It
yeah.
said Michael, it could have been anyone. Oh, thank you,
Michael
Punisher Raider.
Kors?
Punisher Raider.
Oh, thank you. Good luck.
Okay, so he's not dead. I mean, he's in a coffin, but he's not technically dead. So now we have a choice, okay? Do you want to
Okay.
remove his soul or kill him?
What?
It's like BioShock, there's a morality system, okay?
Which one
Which
is
is
the
the
good
morally
one?
correct choice, Sin? Do we want to remove his soul for MP or kill him for gold?
This is, you know what? This is the Armored Core. This is an Armored Core like.
I mean, I played this at about the same time I played Armored Core, so...
Oh my God. That's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, can we just let him be? Can
No,
we just
no,
leave him in the
no.
coffin?
No, I mean, he's already in the coffin.
Should we make the chat vote?
He was trying to kill us. Okay, I'll reveal to you, right?
Okay, okay,
As we
okay.
make progress, there are going to be
Yes.
characters that you don't have to kill.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's remove his soul. I feel like
Okay.
that's the more humane
Okay,
thing
yep.
to do.
Yep, we got 1500 MP for removing his soul.
Aina's like, can't you do both? My God.
So like, we'll get to it eventually, but basically, you know how like we're invading this castle at the moment, right?
Yes.
So when we become like in charge of the castle, what'll
Okay.
happen is other people will come in, but some of them times they'll just do like a circle of the place and leave.
Okay.
This happens a lot in the second one, so you don't actually have to kill them. You can basically just like
Okay.
freak them out and they'll go away.
Okay.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Look, we met the vampire.
She looks like a Sailor Moon villain.
Yeah.
Is her name like Prince Jenny?
Her name's Astarte. So we've got Astarte and Trish.
Krish, you are that one. How are we gonna prove that we're worthy of all of this?
Now you have to use the vault key.
Hmm. Low polyvamp mommy.
Yeah.
Middle of room.
The middle of room.
Middle of room.
Okay, so what we're looking at here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's about to load, this is going to take a while to load. This is why the game took a whole memory card.
Okay.
Now you can see I haven't quite unlocked all the options yet, but we see we've got the add room option and the map info option. So you'll notice that, like, the map of the castle is really only taking up about a quarter of the space. And we have 2 floors to develop.
Okay.
You can just add, like, extra rooms. It becomes like SimCity.
What?
You can, like, just stick extra rooms and extra, like, hallways and stuff on the castle and just develop whatever map you want.
That's amazing.
That's why it took a whole memory card.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And basically, that's what the MP that you get does.
Hmm.
And it has a system, like, we probably won't unlock it, like, while we're here, but you can also capture people and you can use their body parts to make Frankenstein monsters.
Oh my god.
And then use the monsters to, like, just populate the castle. So if you capture, like, a bunch of soldiers, you can just zombify them and then stick them in the castle wandering around to fight people.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's very Warcraft or Starcraft or whatever.
Well, someone compared it earlier to Dungeon Keeper.
Uh-huh.
Which is, like, have you played Dungeon Keeper? You didn't sound like
I
you
have
had.
not personally played it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's very similar to, like, this, where it's like you're the lord of, like, a dungeon and heroes come in and you have to, like, stop them. But this is like, yeah, it's like that if it was Kingsfield.
Uh-huh, okay. That's cool.
How many memory cards? I had a dedicated deception memory card.
They should have sold a memory card with the game. A deception-themed memory card.
Did you ever get, like, game magazines that had stickers on the front that you stuck on controllers?
I wasn't cool enough for game magazines, Sophie.
I had one. I got an SNES one that had the controller overlay for Earthworm Jim in it.
Oh my god, that's so cool!
And I stuck the Earthworm Jim overlay on my SNES controller, but then I couldn't get it off.
Wow.
So for the entire lifespan of that console, the controller had the Earthworm Jim buttons on it.
That's amazing.
Okay, so...
Soulship Zero, what's up?
Oh, he's a tricky one. Goes a little faster. Wait for the hello souls at 0. You have to leave the room and come back. My interest in the series, it's mostly Kagero, so I mostly know Kagero better. Okay, I don't know what actually resets the...
How long will he be chasing you for? You just keep running.
Like I said, my memories of this one are much hazier than my memories of Kagero. Kagero runs at about 12 FPS, by the way. I don't know if that'll be replicated in the emulator.
Oh, I hope so.
Remember I streamed it on my PS3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Kagero, yeah. The third one, we were talking about this before, I don't know if you were here for it, but basically there's like a third one that's just called Deception 3. But then there's like a one that comes after Kagero and before like the other deceptions. That's called Trapped. It's like Trapped with like a PT at the end of it. Oh my god, it's a PT reference. It's like Trapped at the end. And that's like technically the third one, I think, because it's like it's also Tecmo and it's the same gameplay, but it's not called Deception.
Mhm.
And see that prison area with the coffins, that's where you keep the people that you capture.
Yeah, when you steal their souls or kill
Yeah, you keep them there and then you can like turn them into like monsters and stuff.
them.
Buy some that. Buy a monster releaser and some. So you can set this as merchant here. We could kill him or we can just keep him here.
Is he trapped there forever,
I
or?
think he might actually be trapped there forever.
Hmm. Poor guy.
I think I have to use the I think I have to use the crystal to reset all the traps. Hang on. It's gradually coming back to me.
It's all coming back. It's all coming
Yeah,
back to
you
God.
well, the monster system, it's not like an actual proper Frankenstein system. It's more like you like you have monsters that you make out of the people that you capture. So the one where
Hmm.
it's like, you know, like if you capture like the soldier, then you get the ability to make them into a
Mhm.
like a zombie. And see how like there was I did the thing before where I captured the guy and I had a choice.
Mhm.
What you do is like capturing and killing is slightly different.
Okay.
So like if you just straight up kill someone, they're dead, but if you capture them, you can send them to the prison and use their body for something.
This is Armored Core.
Yeah. Here we go. So let's put we've got our little trap here. Let's reset the vault cage there. That's the only thing I have. Let's put some more vault cages down.
Yeah, let's
We'll
do
put
that.
one in. We'll put another vault cage. Actually, no, I need a full space, don't I? Try another vault cage. We'll put a vault cage in the hallway and just try to trap them as they're facing up. And yeah, one thing I specifically remember is like there's a princess who comes into the castle looking for someone. And if
Mhm.
you manage to capture her without killing her, you can make her into this like undead banshee thing. And then
Wow.
the guy who she was looking for will come to rescue the princess. And he finds the monster instead. And she like starts chasing him. It's quite
Huh.
morbid. I'm gonna wait for that guy to come back. Where is he? Oh yeah, by the way, check this out. You get like a full view of everything.
How do
Basically,
you do? Oh,
this
like a
is the
map
map.
view.
Instead of giving you like just a little grid map, you can do this thing that's just like free, essentially free cam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more games should have that. This game thought of lore videos before lore videos existed. It's amazing.
Dude. Oh, there he is. You sometimes have to kind of like bait them into chasing. Where's he gone?
It's not gonna be baited. He's smarter than that.
I might actually. I'll put some traps on the bottom floor and try to.
Okay.
We might do another one of these where like I've made a bit more progress and you can see like the castle building a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Put it in. Actually, put it in that room and see if we can remember. Let's put volcanoes all. Ooh. Got him. This is so Kingsfield, by the way, the rotating herb item.
Oh yeah?
So okay, so I got someone else. This is Idorigo the soldier. So
Okay.
we've got the morality question again. Is it better to remove his soul or murder him?
Well, okay, what's better, the gold or
They
the
both do
MP?
different things. Like the gold is used to buy items from the
Mhm.
merchants, and
Okay.
MP is used to like expand the castle and build more traps.
Yeah, let's expand the castle and
Okay.
build more traps.
I think if we go back to low poly vampire mummy, we'll congratulate.
Is that a new Snack Covenant character?
Oh well, the problem is he already exists in this. I mean, the series has basically been abandoned since the PS3, so
Oh,
I don't know who's gonna care. Here she
let's
is.
see. Dark Deception. What does Wikipedia say about it? Maybe there's gonna be a remake soon.
You must
You
be
never
heartless or
know.
you won't survive. Hey, we did it.
Good job.
You can see that for everyone who goes into the castle, you get a choice of either like kill, capture, or escape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that actually like this has branching paths to the story depending on like who survives and who's killed. Now I get to find out how memory cards work on Mednafen.
What?
I'm trying to figure out if Mednafen just generates a memory card for each game. Oh, it does. Okay, good. There's someone in the chat called Prince Trish.
Oh my god, what? No way.
We've
Where?
done it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, we finally materialized a being into existence. Welcome, Prince Trish. You are 2 hours old.
It's actually like 45 minutes.
You're 45 minutes old?
Mm-hmm.
What's the land where the game takes place again?
I think I Zemeckis or something.
Zenekia, you are you are royalty of Zenekia? You have your own castle?
You have a vampire wife?
What wife? You may have a merchant that you trapped in the castle forever.
Okay, yeah,
Don't forget to feed him.
we unlocked building. We unlocked castle building.
Okay.
Okay. From
That's
memory, castle
super
building
cool.
like requires an absolute ton of MP.
So we gotta kill more people.
Basically, yeah.
I did a quick Google search, there
Mm-hmm.
doesn't seem to be a remake in the making, unfortunately.
No, they did actually technically like they remade the PS3 ones on PS4, but that's
Okay.
more of like it's like a remaster upscale thing.
Okay,
And I
yeah.
think they added like some new content to them. Okay,
Okay.
so this is the castle with the magic thingamajig.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is sort of the setup of the game. Like there's like two adventurers coming into the castle,
Uh-huh.
and you can hear them like talking to themselves. Like, did you know that there's something in the castle that can resurrect Satan? Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Are we like a Satan cult or
Let's
what's
start
our
exploring.
relationship to Satan?
Well, I think it's up to us, the player. Everyone has
Well,
their own
actually,
personal relationship with Satan, Sin.
thank you, Sophie.
Don't make me break out the
Oh,
tarot
thank you,
cards. They're on
Ian.
the desk. Also, there's quite like colorful dialogue for an early PS1 game because they tended to be quite basic. Yes, Acheron just
Really?
points out this character's name is Scuba. Yeah, they get ridiculous. There's a guy called Goatbone later.
It's amazing. Look, I don't want to say this is the best game ever created, but
I mean, it's pretty damn good.
pretty damn good. Yeah, by the way, Ian,
Yeah.
thanks so much. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you, yeah. So, for reference, the evil jewel is literally called Evil Jewel as one word.
Is that like the singer's evil twin?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the split jewel timeline. She doesn't sell
Yeah.
out and do that intuition song.
Do 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 do
Do,
do do
do,
do
do,
do
do.
do
A
do.
song that I literally thought was a jingle for for a shaving thing with a schlick intuition, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, this is a real song. That's terrible.
It was very catchy though.
It was.
I didn't realize that it was sang by the same lady as those sad songs for
Yeah,
the longest
yeah.
time.
So you
Yeah.
get this little stat screen here.
Mhm.
So again, like we get quite a lot of info. Like everyone's got a little bio. They've all got their own stats.
Uh-huh.
This is Jin. He's a soldier from Junin. He seeks the sounds of magic, whatever that means. Um, and then there's Scuba the archer, who's come with Jin.
Okay.
Hey Val.
Hi.
Goatbone is a priest, but I don't know if we're going to stick around long enough to meet Goatbone. Okay, we got adding rooms. So we probably won't
Okay.
be able to
Excellent.
do a ton.
Okay.
Because it's a very long game, but you can see like, hey, we have our little
Mhm.
like map screen. So if we go down to, this is the bottom floor. So if we want, we can, and we can. Oh, actually, no. I tell a lie. It's actually gold that expands the castle, and it's the MP is the traps.
Hmm. You should have asked the little slug.
I know. Too bad he's not here.
Busy schedule.
Yeah, you build your own. This is why I mentioned before that the game took up an entire memory card, an entire PS1 memory card, and this is why, because of
Okay.
this stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah, something that the later games do, and I don't know if it's such a thing in this, but they add trap combos.
Okay.
Where the idea is like you essentially create sort of Three Stooges style trap settings where like Wile E. Coyote or something, where like a giant boot comes down and when it hits the person it kicks them and then you figure out where they'll land and you put something where they'll land. So like you make them like kick them onto like a trampoline and the trampoline bounces them into a spike and you get score multipliers for how that goes.
This machine.
Yeah, basically. And then essentially
Amazing.
like as the series goes on it gets gradually hornier. To the point where, like, the final game is essentially you're just making a BDSM dungeon. Like, you're just strapping people to pommel horses and spanking them.
I wonder we're playing that.
I actually did stream it at one point. Like, ages ago, because I have all of them.
So so pet labor is illegal, but that's okay to stream.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
So now we gotta, where are you guys? And you can see, like, there's the hallway that we laid before. We can into it. I basically made a dead-end hallway with 2 cages in it, and I'm gonna try to... Oh, tricky.
Hey.
Are you a ghost? Yeah, he's a little faster. I think you can only use the crane. Right, crane. Yeah. He's like, we weren't hurting anyone. Okay, we got scuba.
Okay, cool,
Yep, we
cool.
also got an antidote. So do we wanna kill scuba for money or steal his soul?
Well, I feel like we don't have a lot of money at the
Yeah,
moment,
yeah.
so maybe do that.
Inflation's really biting hard. So there he goes.
Yeah. Good job, everyone.
Oh, okay. So the other dude is. I like the sort of comedy what reaction a lot of them have.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're capturing Jin. So Jin, oh hey, Jin came with a tiara, nice. And a herb. Oh yeah, the
Cool.
BDSM stuff is the PS3 version that I do have, but I don't think we'll get around to playing it tonight, so we're only gonna do the first 2. So do you wanna
Mhm.
steal Jin's soul or kill him?
Well, he had a tiara. Let's steal his soul. I
Okay, yeah,
feel like
that's
it's a
fair.
good soul. Yeah.
Wah! Okay, so what we're playing as here is we're like the prince of a kingdom who's
Mhm.
come to this place and basically sold their soul to Satan.
Mhm. Mhm.
But in this, so we're kind of like a dickhead. There's this thing about like we're sort of escaping like persecution, so like we're driven to the brink and we end up selling our soul. But like in the second one that we'll get to later on, we're a little more sympathetic, but we also like
Okay.
the second one's kind of has a morality thing where it's like you're almost a character who's blank, and it's like
Okay.
you're being pushed into murdering people, but will you do it or not? Sort of situation.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh ho. Oh ho.
Okay, so here we are with Dairos.
Okay.
Yep, he's a little tougher, so let's see if we can get rid of it.
Let's see if we can get rid of him.
Okay, I might add some more traps. Hang on.
Okay.
Try. Um,
Do, 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 do.
like, let's drop a weight on him.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Excuse me, do you live here? Oh no. He noticed that we took the tiara. He's mad.
No! Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Okay, this isn't going so great for us. Oh, okay, he dodges them. You always dodge them?
So, Sophie,
Yes.
since a lot of super cool people showed up, we're gonna give them a little something that they may not have seen before.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Saturday night snack Elden Ring from Patreon
Yeah.
that released recently.
Yeah.
It's the long one. And if anybody's interested, you can just click on it and bookmark it for later.
Yeah, all the Patreon
It's
stuff
a
is
little...
literally just like, unlisted videos.
Yeah, yes. So as a little thank you for coming to the
Yeah.
stream. Oh.
Okay, still on the front. See, prisoners here, that this is the monster creating thing. So you can see there's like different classes of prisoner. There's like wizard,
Okay.
priest, etc. And you sort of, those are resources that you use to make the monsters.
Okay.
You also get these that are used to lure people.
Okay.
So like for instance, oh yeah, my skull, thank you. That's a Halloween decoration that I got, and it's too big to go anywhere. So it just lives there. Also, whenever I'm on like a Microsoft Teams meeting, and I've got the blur, like blur all the faces option on, it doesn't blur the skull. Because it detects that that's a face, so I go through the meeting with like a giant skull looming over me.
Everybody's like, pretend that you don't see anything. We don't want to anger her. This could be a real skull.
Hello.
I gotta give a little shout out to
Yeah.
our boyfriend, the silent protagonist of the stream,
Yeah.
who's actually moderating messages.
Thank you.
Thank you, boyfriend. I saw that. I saw what you did, boyfriend. We appreciate it, keeping the stream safe, positive, and
Yep.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This game is like a little stressful and intense.
Oh, I have Planescape Torment. I have like 3 copies of Planescape Torment. I guess the thing is, like, streaming RPGs is sort of a little... Like, there's lots of... I say this now as if, like, this has been action-packed, but, like... I remember, actually, Planescape Torment was the first game I ever followed the development of.
Okay.
Because they had a, like... they I don't know if people remember this, but basically during the making of Planescape Torment, they had a whole they were basically blogging about it before the word blog was a thing.
Okay.
So you could like log in and just read about like them making it. And
Hmm.
yeah, a bunch of they would talk about the influence of Final Fantasy and stuff on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, they would talk about
Awesome.
yeah.
Super cool.
It's like there's Planescape Torment's like obviously like it's a D&D kind of deal. Western RPG, but they had a whole thing about like they wanted to include FMVs with some of the spells. So like you'd cast a spell and you would actually see like a like it would actually play a movie to like show the spell being cast. And that they specifically said like that was inspired by they were playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII, and that has the summon animations that go forever,
Hmm.
which like wasn't really a thing in D&D games before. And will he dodge Petra?
Hey, Karatis! What's up?
Pretty fasting. You can see now he is very like he's sort of winded. He's like staggering a little.
He's learning how to stand. He needs to level up.
Well, no, that's kind of how it works because like now that he's a little winded, he's not going to be as able to dodge things. But I think he's not quite hurt enough.
Oh my god, Sophie,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah,
morbid.
I know.
He's not quite hurt enough.
Yes.
That was a very Queen Yarnum thing to say.
Oh, I just killed him. Okay. So we won't have the option of sacrificing his soul, unfortunately. But Trish did level up.
Okay, good for Trish. Visually, I picture this character as our Trish.
Yeah. She's just accidentally, like, setting traps for people.
Yeah, exactly, because she wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
not like that.
I think there are gas traps later.
Oh, wow. Very Joker.
You'll notice that very helpfully that guy actually unlocked one of the doors that was locked
Huh?
before.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah,
It's very
thank you, Thief, for
helpful.
unlocking a door in my own house.
Well, you know what it happens sometimes? You lose a key, and normally you'd call like a locksmith, but
Yeah.
a life hack is you wait for thieves to invade your house and open the doors for you.
How did you get in here? I'm the locksmith. And who are you and how did you get in here? I'm the locksmith and I'm the locksmith. Okay. I reckon we have some money, so let's continue
Oh,
building
Val
our
says Trish is one of her favorite characters.
Oh, thank you. Let's make more of a horrible death hallway. Go to dining room. We'll make a death hallway with a dining room at the end, and then if you get stuck, we'll just...
You know what you could do?
Yeah.
You could probably like recreate Bloodborne locations with us or something.
You probably could. I mean, it's more like Wolfenstein, I guess, where everything is just on a grid.
Huh.
Yeah. So I think, because they're very agile, we might want to use the spikes, because they're harder. So we'll just make a hallway full of spikes. And then...
Very Indiana Jones.
Yeah, we'll add some more, like, capture, like, cage things to try to capture these guys. Oh, thank you, Toonies. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you. Very sweet.
Okay, so we'll lure. I'm gonna try luring it. This is the hallway we just made, so I'm gonna try luring him in. Hey, Dankmoon. This is Deception for the PS1.
Dark Souls mod is this?
I think because these guys are thieves, they actually ignore you because they just want to steal things.
Oh my god! Realistic.
And yeah, if you just hurt them enough, they eventually, like, stagger to the exit.
Oh my god.
No, and then they can escape, and it's like, okay, I guess they got out.
That is really cool. Because again, that's one of my comments on a lot of games where the guys who are fighting never run away, never retreat, you know? This game is way ahead of its time.
It's incredibly ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
It's just called Dan. Oh no, that's Medane. Ah.
I feel like he's regretting a lot of his life choices right now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so do we want to sacrifice his soul, or do we want to murder him?
Murder! Murder! Murder!
Kill him for gold. He's a thief, he probably has a lot of gold.
Yes.
Okay. I think he is escaping. Trying to get to...
No! Stab him, Sophie! Curantus just asked a philosophical question. What's the difference between removing someone's soul and murdering them?
I think if you remove their soul, the body remains intact, but it's just like a weird husk.
Sophie?
Yes?
Marika played this game, and that's where she got her idea for Godwin.
Her idea for Godwin?
Whoever was it, or was it Ronnie? Remove the soul, keep the body.
Oh no, I captured myself. I'm hoisted by my own petard.
Oh no!
This guy stabs me.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, and he's stabbing so aggressively too.
He's not doing very much damage though.
Oh. Well, it's hard to stab you through the bars, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh damn it, I missed.
Damn, Sophie, get good.
I know. I mean, this is a game for experts.
For experts.
Yeah.
Well, so the spikes were actually a good investment.
I think that guy always dodges. Some of them, like, it depends
dodging?
on the... You'll notice that, like, sometimes it spins really quickly, and that's, like...
Okay.
The optimal time. Yeah, see, we got him. So he's on 2 hit points.
Okay.
And basically, when you capture them, the amount of time it takes to capture them is based on how many hit points they have left.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them, like, if you capture someone at the start and they're strong, they'll just break out before you finish capturing them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lurched in.
Oh, it's locked.
Get the thief to open it.
Oh, we're stuck. Do I even have attacks in this? I don't think I do. Okay. Oh, this is an old game. This is actually like a very early PS1 release that I think not a lot of people remember. The series kept going though. Like, we'll play another one later. I'm gonna try leaving someone.
Where's our vampire wife, by the way?
She's watching us.
Oh. She can come and help, you know?
Hmm.
So when we build the castle, are we building it by ourselves, or is there like a construction
Well,
crew
we're
that
paying people,
comes
which
real quick?
implies that, like, someone is being paid for this.
So like a very effective construction crew.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. It's a vampire wife.
Not to spoil anything, but
Says,
we will
yeah,
see the
go
vampire
ahead.
waifu again in the second one.
Nice.
Oh, Polly Vampire Mommy.
Lunar says, I just watched Sin play Outlast.
How does this compare
Yeah,
to
you get
Outlast
two more
as a
streams.
running simulator?
Yes, tell us.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh,
How do
me?
you think it compares?
So this has a lot more thinking and strategizing than
Yeah.
Outlast. Outlast is just running,
Yeah.
hiding, running, and being scared. This is tense. Like, that's why I'm quiet most of the time, because I'm
Yeah.
really like, it's tension. But this is a lot more strategic, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it does have strategy mode.
There we go.
You got another tiara.
Oh my god! I love tiaras. One for you, one for me, and one for every
Oh my
cultist.
god. Okay. So we captured Dan, who was a pirate.
Damn it, Dan.
Yeah. So do we want Dan? Do we want to remove his soul? Or do we want to kill him?
Soul, because we got gold from the other one.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
yeah.
Okay, we did it. Anyone else gonna show
Did
up?
it!
Yep. Oh, hang on, we got someone. Oh, it's a ninja. They've all been sent by the evil Henry.
Oh, Henry!
So this is Saizo the ninja. So it says here he wants to survey the castle and return, which is kind of like setting up that, okay, this guy.
Yeah.
He's like, you can actually just basically leave him alone and he'll just show up and then like look around for a bit and leave.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But what do we do? What do we get for leaving him alone? Is there a reward for that?
No, you don't want to leave him alone. You want to get rid of him.
Well, maybe this game is playing 10D chess, where if you don't kill someone, it's like you didn't kill him, so you actually get 1,000,000 gold for your golden heart.
Your golden heart.
Your heart of gold. Whatever. You get gold for your heart of gold because you didn't kill one person.
That does it does kind of play out like that a little bit.
Okay, okay. So who's Henry? He's a chocolate. Oh, hungry. Oh, Henry. Sophie, have you ever had an O. Henry?
They don't sell them here.
How do you live in Australia? You guys don't get Dr. Pepper, you get no Henry. What do you have?
We get Dr. Pepper.
Barely $5 a can. That's
$3 a can.
extortion.
It is, yeah. O. Henry is a short story writer, and Sin didn't realize that. We were talking about it once. And we had a very long discussion that ended with us realizing that throughout it, I had been talking about a short story writer, and Sin had been talking about a chocolate bar, and that's why the conversation was confused. Okay, a question. Any significant questions around the main story of Elden Ring, or is it generally spelled out? Sin, how do you understand the main story of Elden Ring?
Like, generally speaking,
Do
like
you think
the
the main
whole
story of
overview?
Elden Ring is spelled out?
Um, kinda. It's just like colonizing force meets a planet,
Yeah?
and shit goes down.
Yeah?
That's kind of the main story, and then there's like the more precise stuff is people sort of plotting within that situation. That's about it, I think. I mean, what do you think?
Um, I feel like the big questions about Elden Ring are mostly like the world itself. They're things like how
Hmm.
the greater will works and stuff like that, rather than like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is not necessarily relevant to the story of the game.
No, and I don't think you can, like, I think we can speculate, but I don't think it's something that's spelled out at this point or is, you know, I feel like every answer is a right answer for something like that. Yeah. Oh no, Sophie, I'm getting hungry.
No.
But my favorite From Software game is still Bloodborne, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about Elden Ring that's the most confused is the
Hmm.
Mikola stuff.
What do you mean?
Because it's like, basically they got Mikola. From what we
Mm-hmm.
can tell, there was a whole, like, completed Mikola storyline. And
Oh, you mean that?
they
Yeah, yeah,
got
yeah.
rid of it and replaced it with something that basically doesn't see. I don't know why they did it, because we were like, well, clearly they've done this because there's a DLC coming. It's been a year.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know where the DLC is. No, but that's true, because, like, the way that they've done it, they basically, like, removed the completed Mikola stuff from the game. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess they did that because they want to do a Mikola DLC and, like, save it for that. That makes sense. But,
Hmm.
like, we've not heard anything about it. It's been almost a year.
No. Yeah.
Like, I
Yes,
have,
that
okay,
will.
I've heard
Mhm.
things
Yes.
about the Elden Ring DLC. Do you want me to tell you what they are?
Sure, yeah.
It's basically, what I heard is it's very, very similar to what they already did with the Colosseum thing, where it's just...
Hunters.
What?
No. Old
No, no,
hunters.
no,
I
the
don't know.
Colosseum thing, where it's basically like they're going
Oh.
to, add, like, some more stuff to the game, basically. Like, you're gonna...
But I
Ah, he's trying to
call
escape.
that Yeah, I wouldn't call that like a DLC the way I envision one, though. It's more like
Well, yeah,
some
but it's like that's
additional
sort of what they're
content.
apparently doing. Is it's going to be like another downloadable thing. I don't think it'll be a complete. It doesn't sound anything like the old Hunters, and it would just be like, yeah, we've added new bosses, we've added new like, I think things for different time of day and stuff like that. But
Uh,
yeah, as far as I can tell, like really nothing resembling like the whole old Hunters, and it's so weird because like all the Mikola stuff seems like they wanted to do it again, but it's not.
Maybe because they did say they're gonna write books and make movies
Yeah, they
and,
want to
all
expand the
that.
lands between into its own like world. But
Maybe that's why.
got you. Okay, we caught the ninja. That's kind of difficult.
Okay.
Do we want to kill him or steal his soul?
Um, you know what? Steal his soul.
Okay.
Good.
And yeah, Cronus is pointing out that like the Elden Ring world is so huge we don't know what the DLC would even be. Oh, I
Yeah.
think oh Henry's here.
Oh, Henry's here? What?
Oh,
Where?
Henry.
Oh, I thought you meant in chat!
No, Henry's coming. He's like, wow, everyone I sent here has died. Better investigate.
He looks
He
like the
doesn't
merchant.
seem that bright.
No. Oh, Henry.
Okay, Henry is a traveling salesman who will pay heavily. He has an agility of 1, so I think we can probably try, like, capturing him.
Oh. It would be cool if you could capture people and just put them in a prison.
You can! We just don't have a prison yet.
Wait, but you don't kill him, you just put him there to
Yeah, you
chill.
do. You basically hold them in a coffin in
What?
suspended animation, and then you, like, drag them out. Yeah.
This game thought of
You
everything.
upgrade the capture thing, basically, to work on, yeah, like, you don't just capture them and disappear, you can send them to prison instead of killing them. That's what, you know those rooms we saw that were like a room full of coffins?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what those are.
Right, yes,
Yeah.
it's a prison.
A
It's a
prison is a
castle
prison.
and a prison.
Oh my god.
OMG, somebody get Aegon.
Aegon who didn't realize that until we told him. And I think Henry is one of the ones who, like, tries to escape.
Oh,
Because
okay, does he
he's a
succeed?
coward who just wants money, so I'm gonna leave some
Oh.
traps by the exit just in case. And maybe some spikes on.
Intense. I have a question for people in the chat.
Why, certainly.
Does any Does anybody have any recommendations in terms of either gels or mousse or conditioner or shampoo for curly hair?
Like, I'm going not. Oh, he's a feisty one.
My
He,
God.
he got out of the way when I tried to drop a cage on him.
Wow. Don't judge a book by its stats.
Okay, time for plan B. We will try gassing him. Ooh. You little shit. Ooh.
Throwing buckets at you?
Yeah, he's throwing little pots and pans. Okay, we gassed him.
My God.
Damn it,
That merchant's return
he
policy is
staggered in the
murder.
wrong direction.
Oh
We can buy from him while he's here.
my god!
That's... Oh, hang on. I'll sell him the tiaras we got.
Wow, that's a lot of gold.
Okay, I think the lands
Yeah.
between, in as, like,
Yes.
having looked at it, I wonder if they're completely artificial. Like, I'm
Oh
wondering if, like,
yeah.
because the deeper down you
Hmm.
dig into the lands between, you just find ruins. Like, those
Mm-hmm.
ruins, they're not built into the sides of the thing. Like, they are the sides of it.
Oh.
Like, it doesn't have natural edges. It looks like the lands between was like a floating, like, Acropolis-like structure that all of these meteorites impacted on and just added a layer of dirt to it. Like, it's very, very strange. But I'm not
Yeah,
sure
did we talk?
if it's
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
that, because... Or if that's just because it was easier to make it look that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a little weird.
A little weird.
Oh, okay, the cut content. Basically there was a whole plot line with Mikola slash Centrina, where there was like a character, I think they were called Rico, who was like a worshipper of Centrina, and you followed them, and they had a quest where you had to use sleep attacks on people, and then you collected an item from the sleeping people called Dream Broth.
Hmm.
And then you, like, or Dream Draft or something, and basically all the characters have reactions to it, like it's fully working and everything. And then,
Okay.
like, there's an alternate Melania intro where she's basically, and it makes way more sense, where instead of her saying, like, I'm awaiting Mikola's return, she's like, Mikola's already here, and you're coming
Hmm.
to steal him from me. And that's
Yeah.
why there's, like, the Mikola-shaped husk in the tree, because Mikola's, like, inside of the
In
tree,
the
and she's
tree.
like, you've
Yeah.
come to take him from me. And she has this, like, there's, like, this... You know when you beat, Lorien in Dark Souls, and then Lothric has the, like, oh dear brother, rise if you would thing.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
version, it's basically that, but it's Mikola.
Okay.
Where, like, you beat Melania, and then Mikola's like, oh dear sister, like, rise if you would. Like, take my due and live again.
Maybe they thought it was way too similar to Dark Souls.
No,
And
but
they're
then,
like,
like,
oh
it's
no.
all, like, then there's, like, a Mikola ending, where, like, Mikola, instead of, it, like, the narrator at the end, it's Mikola saying, like, you know, we'll have an age of abundance at last. And then it just, like, they just junked it and made Mikola into a corpse in a fucking, like, spider egg.
An
In
old
Mog's
corpse
room,
too.
which is
Yeah.
itself like a repurposed, Eternal City thing. It's just so weird. Because, like, they had a
Yeah.
completely finished thing and they sort of ripped it out in a way that, like, I don't understand why they did it. Because it doesn't, it's not better.
Well,
It
you
seems
know how
completely
when you
random.
Well, you know how you work on projects at work?
Yeah.
Sometimes the finished project, there are parts that make no sense because something happened during
No, but
work.
the weird thing is,
Someone
like,
did
it's
something.
finished.
Yeah.
It's not like in
Yeah.
like Dark Souls 3 where there's all the stuff about, like, the
Hmm.
world going from light to dark and stuff. Where, like, okay, it's there. It's cut, but,
Hmm.
like, it doesn't seem like it ever worked. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it just seems like it was, like, half finished, they realized it didn't work and they had to get rid of it. This, for all we can
Mm-hmm.
tell, like, it worked. It was a whole Mikola quest with, like, this ending and stuff, and that's why we thought, okay, if that's what they've done, they would only remove something that was completely finished like that if they had a good reason to do it. there's probably therefore going to be a Mikola DLC. And, not from what I can tell.
Maybe there were creative differences. Somebody was like, we want no good endings in this.
Well, that's the weird thing, because the Mikola ending, like, from what you can tell, it's the closest thing we get to, like, a good ending. Because it's basically like, you know, you sort of, like, you replace Marika with Mikola. And he's like, you know, yes, this is an age of abundance, and, like, you know, the saplings will bloom again and everything.
Yeah. Maybe they're working on Elden Ring too.
I think they have to be working on it.
Yeah, maybe that's where it is. So I'm personally gonna have to log off in about 10-15 minutes.
Oh no.
Because, yeah, well, it's gonna be like 2 hours from 8.
Oh, okay, okay. So what I might do is I'll just
Yeah.
quickly load up Kagero.
Yeah.
You can see Kagero.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting late for you as well. So
Yeah, it's
like,
it's 20 to 2.
yeah. I think the time passed so fast we didn't notice.
We're just having such fun.
Oh, such fun killing people and stealing their souls.
So you can see already, like, it's a slightly different aesthetic. I'll skip the CG intro. So this time we're that girl.
And we're Princess Trish?
Oh, I think her name canonically is Millennia.
Millennia?
Millennia, as in
what?
like the time period, like a millennia.
Oh, I thought it was like an Elden Ring
Okay, but
reference.
also like she's meant to be, I think, 15, and this game came out in 1998, so she is a millennial.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So this is like they started kind of streamlining it. So this does not have the castle building element to it.
Okay.
Okay, but now do you need to understand the plot? There is a special immortal species with pearly blue skin and blue blood called the Time-Noids, TMND.
Okay.
The TMD, Time-Noid, they're superior to humans in every way. Remember in how Low Poly Vampire Mommy had blue skin?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a Time-Noid, TMD.
Oh.
Eons ago, when humans were feral and lived in chaos, the TMD shared their wisdom and ways. And the humans respected the Tund for enriching their lives.
Humans are never content with peace.
Never even when it's granted by the Time-Noids, TMD.
I'm noticing.
It's like a legal disclaimer, like Time-Noid, TMD.
Yeah. Bo says, yeah, they took out Satan and castle building in this one made me sad. Still a good game, though. Yeah. Can't believe they took out Satan.
I like this guy, his name is Eclipse, but with a Y, which is an extremely 90s name. So instead of Low Poly Vampire Mommy, I think, is in this, but this isn't her, this is Yokal.
Yes, Acarantis, that's Eclipse with a Y.
Yeah. So basically the story is like, it's sort of similar, but we're like a little girl who wandered into this place and was raised by Time-Noids, TMD.
TMD?
And you're given like, you're more like an innocent character in this. You're sort of being pushed into doing these things as opposed to the prince who willingly sells his soul.
Okay,
And they're kind of discussing that now, where it's like, you know, if she doesn't become a proper, like, murder vampire monster, she'll just be a normal person. We don't want that. Also, this is definitely running a lot faster than it normally does. I think it's the emulator.
Okay. Good job. Emulators have come a long way.
So this is the one that I was talking about that does like trap comboing,
Mhm.
where they encourage you to set it up so like a trampoline knocks someone into a pit and then something falls on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get like a
Yes.
multiplier as you do it.
That's amazing.
I remember this came up and I was talking to Dahlia, and she's like, "I used to play this game, and this is like this girl walking around an empty castle. You did all this stuff," and I'm like, "Is it this?" And she's like, "Oh my god, I didn't think anyone else remembered this."
Be easy to kill the humans. You can do it.
Yeah.
How
Yeah, people
encouraging.
sharing their memories, like putting a boulder at the top of stairs so it rolls down. Also, the other thing is this is third person, not first person.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Also has the traps recharge over time instead of you needing to reset them.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah, yeah. So this is sort of, it's like happens with a lot of games where like the first one is sort of trying a whole lot of different things. And
Uh-huh.
then the sequel sort of like refines parts of it and makes it a little more focused.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's a shame like they get rid of castle building, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But they sort of, they make the trap system a little more involved. Yeah, someone
Okay.
pointing out this is just Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
God, it is.
Oh, hang on, no, sorry, we are back into, PS1 frame rates.
Oh, nostalgia.
Yeah, so basically, if you think the stream's suddenly, taking a dip, no. And yeah, see, we get the choice of saying, like, did you call me here? So we'll be like, uh, no, I'm not a time noid, TMD.
Indeed.
Oh, good night, Toonies.
Hi, thank you for coming.
And you can see, like, because, he said, like, are you a time noid, TMD? And we're like, no. He's like, alright.
Okay.
Now he's
Seems
leaving.
legit.
Now he's leaving.
Oh no. You're gonna let him leave?
Let's try this mission again. And this time we'll tell him that we're a TMD.
Oh no. Oh, you know you keep saying TMD and I'm like, that rings a bell.
Yeah?
Do you know what a TMD is?
No? What is a TMD?
It's a time manipulation device from Singularity.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, we did some Singularity things with Alhazred.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games ever, actually.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay, really, I've got the hang of this again. Let's go back and try to notice.
Do your best, Sophie. I
Thank
believe in
you,
you.
thank you. No, it's less ambitious, but it's a little more focused in terms of what it's doing. So it's basically like, this is way more about like laying traps and comboing traps together. So it doesn't have like the monster creation, it doesn't have the layout shifting stuff, but it's sort of, it was easier for me to get my head around when I played it.
They should definitely remake this game though, like the first one.
I feel like if you're an indie dev, there you go.
Oh, I mean like Blue Point.
No, not Blue Point.
It
Sorry,
just
that
needs a
sounded
new
rude.
new code of kit. Oh, oh. What I mean is, it just needs a new coat of paint. Like the rest is perfect. Still disappointed they didn't fix the archstone.
Yeah?
I was hoping they would.
Okay.
It's okay, we have Thans, we'll
Okay, I'm
fix
gonna
it.
try comboing a trap together. Let's go.
Alright.
So... Waiting for Mega Rock to charge up, so let's go. They're hopeful. Okay. Oh no, he's not close. Ah!
Do it?
No, he's gonna get out of here.
Oh no. How dare he?
How dare he? I'm trying to show off like how comboing traps work.
Yeah.
And you can see again it's doing the thing that the first one did where like some of them just leave.
Hmm.
And like they're
Yeah,
saying
that's
at the
really
start, like,
cool.
you know, we have to raise millennia to be a horrible murderer. If you let people escape, like it sort of
Yeah.
shifts it to well, like, okay, she's actually not that bad.
Oh.
And
Do they
this
have
is
like
actually
various
like,
endings?
I'll just spoil the ending of this. This is a prequel.
Okay.
But this actually ends with like the beginning of the first one.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That is. Let's go and put a bear trap where he's standing. The press
Mole
wall.
bomb.
Yeah. Put a press wall there, and then as he's leaving, we'll drop a rock on him.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I can run to say I do prefer like the older Souls games for that reason. Because they're less sort of like refined. Oh no, we did the rock didn't happen in time.
Oh no.
Hang on.
I like how he's like, huh, something strange is happening
Something's
here. I
up.
better leave. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The new Armored Core, from what I heard, like, they described it as something that's a little more action-based. Like, it sounded, like, faster. I'm gonna do this properly.
Do it.
So hopefully. Got him.
Good job, Sophie.
I'm a murderer.
I'm very proud of you. Murder.
Well done. Keep up the good work. She's impressed with our KPI.
What?
She's impressed with our KPI. Oh yeah, and if you kill everyone, you get the perfect genocide bonus.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get info on everyone's death.
Oh,
So
wow.
Dar was canonically speared to death by an arrow. And you can see, like, we got a 3-hit combo with, like, it combines, like, the number of hits with the number of, like, amount of damage you did.
Okay.
And yeah, we get slightly better introductions to the characters here. So his slash.
Okay.
And Lilia is asking him to go look for someone.
Okay.
So yeah, Lilia's like, hey, my husband went to this castle and hasn't come back. You know that guy that we killed?
Yeah.
His wife's like, hey, my husband never came back. Can you go look for him?
Oh no! Is she gonna go look at her by herself at some point?
I think that actually can happen, depending on how you do it.
Oh.
It does look like Trevor
no.
Belmont, yeah. Oh, hey, Harvey's here. Hello.
Whee! How's it
Everyone's starting to
going?
show up as we're wrapping up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much time for me to go. Gotta
Yeah.
eat, gotta cook, gotta do
Yeah.
the Sunday chores.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day I'll finish Callisto Protocol and then we can
Yeah.
play Dead Space,
Are
Sophie.
you ever going to finish Scorn?
What?
You going to finish Scorn?
I'm
Scorn, the
sorry,
game
your
everyone
connection is
complains
breaking
is
up.
every game everyone complains is too short.
I for one think it's a little too long.
I'm just telling people that killing humans is my mission. Okay, so, I want to try... I don't know if it'll charge up by the time he gets...
Huh.
Oh, you know what, actually, here's what I want. Mega Rock. Bomb. I'll put a bomb there and try to blow him back if he goes back. Oh.
The real Scorn were the games we didn't finish on the way. Harvey is right. Visually interesting, but short, limited, and ultimately unsatisfying. That sounds like a review intro. That's a good one, Acrontis. What I like about Scorn is how fleshy everything looks.
It's a very fleshy game.
Yeah. In my imagination, I imagine this is what the inside of the Hellraiser box looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end, you meet the priest, and it's like, oh, you've been in the box all along. That's what I think's gonna happen.
Oh, damn it. I'm trying to propel him into the rock. There we go.
What is Dwayne Johnson doing there?
That's happened every single time I've said the word rock.
Yes.
Like, ever on this podcast. It's become...
Sometimes...
You mean the Dwayne Johnson?
When I don't say it, I add a little picture of the rock in the post, in the editing.
Let's try to drop the rock on him. Got him.
Yeah, I'll hazard for sure.
Yeah.
5 to 10 years when I get around to it. This is me. I have to finish all these games and stream all the other games.
This is okay. We get to kill Dar's wife now. By the way.
Oh no.
Oh no, she's going to find help. Okay. Yeah. So like, this is our plan. It's like we're gonna try doing this pretty much every week.
Yes.
Like, or we'll do something just basically to get us through these games.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember way back we had a plan we were going to stream 2,000 games in total and we were keeping track of them and then we just forgot?
I didn't forget. I'm like, I hope Sophie doesn't remember.
The problem is that Elden Ring came out and it just
that
consumed
ruined our
everybody's lives.
Yeah, I mean, no, we gotta
it's
try
Gaston,
to
everyone.
Yeah. Okay, my humidifier just told me I gotta go.
Okay.
All right.
I'll go for a little bit longer.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, thanks everyone. Keep watching Sophie. She's the greatest.
Oh, you.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get to know it's like at 2 a.m. in the morning. And I'm an adult with a job now, so. For now.
Yeah.
For now until they see the KPIs from the last time I was there.
Stay up too late, Sophie, and have a good night, everyone. And you know, maybe at some point there will be a Callisto stream sometime this month.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, you were having internet problems last time, weren't you?
Yeah, it was. Oh my god, my boyfriend figured it out because he's a genius. Apparently, it had to do with the frequency of everybody's internet. And us and the neighbors and everyone were in the same frequency, and he's like, I switched frequencies. Or something. And I'm like, oh my god. So smart.
You're so smart.
Yeah. So smart.
Can I tell everyone about when I was talking to the two of you?
I don't know what happened. Depends on what it was.
I was talking to Sin. And she was having internet problems, and she didn't, I think, realize that I could hear her, because I think she thought her mic was, like, not working. And I heard her have this discussion where she's like, boyfriend, internet does not work, I pressed the button, doesn't do anything. And then you hear him go like, well, that's because you carry it around with you, it's not a fucking laptop, it's fragile. And then Sin just goes, yeah, it's not a fucking laptop, it's fragile. and then she turns around and realizes I could hear her.
Some people think we're overacting. Some people
If anything, we downplay it and we're more normal when we're doing this.
Yo, we do downplay a lot. When Sophie and I just talk without being recorded, it's like elevated.
It's so much worse.
It's worse. On every level. Kind of like the never-to-be-released Christmas special.
I feel like the Christmas special was,
Maybe it will be released after our deaths, you know? Like the forbidden tape. Alright. Well, have a wonderful day, Sophie, or night, and everyone.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys later!
Bye!
Bye!
I'll talk about the Forbidden special now that Sin's not here. Basically we recorded this, like, Christmas/New Year's thing, and one of the questions was like, So what are your resolutions for the new year? And one of the things that like we talked about was like we're trying to be a little more assertive. Because we dealt with people who were not that great, and we were trying to like, you know, stand up for ourselves a little more and not take as much crap, and that led to a long discussion of like what those people were like. And oh boy. It went on for a while. And there were long discussions about like terrible relationships that we'd been in and things like that. And at the end, Sin decided not to release it. Because it was basically too depressing. The other thing that I think we should release on Patreon is basically, there was this Armored Core presentation at the Taipei Game Show that, like, some people here may have seen. And we started streaming a reaction to it, and I was streaming it with, someone called Xenolalia, who I've streamed with before. She's like a friend, she's one of our patrons, she shows up. I've known her since, like, before I was on the Sin thing. And, basically, like, she was there and I was there, and she's like a big Armored Core fan, so we were just talking about, like, you know, Armored Core and stuff, and then, by a certain point in it, like, we started talking about anime that sort of inspired Armored Core. And, I thought, oh, I'll show some clips so people know what we're talking about. And, the problem is that, you know, the clips that I showed... YouTube decided they were not allowed, even though the clips themselves were on YouTube and that's how I was streaming them. So the stream got pulled by YouTube during it, and then we got this note saying like, yeah, you can upload this again if you want, but you have to remove a part of it, and we're like, we can't be bothered because frankly, we didn't learn anything in that stream. But it was quite long, and there was a lot of Armored Core discussion, so I think, like, maybe at some point we'll just edit out the part that got cut, and then we'll just put that on Patreon or something. It's just be me and my friend, Zeno, talking about her Armored Core experiences. It's 2:08 now, I think I'll go until 2:30. This was supposed to start a lot earlier, but, we were having tech issues. Also, one of the issues that we have is, like, because of the way YouTube works, I can't stream unless Sin is there to approve it manually. Which is why, like, we're sort of limited to this time, because if I start going and it's, like, my afternoon, Sin's not around. I was genuinely worried when the stream got cut that, like, it was going to be, okay, now the channel's down forever. And I spent that night, like, refreshing on my phone in bed just to make sure we still had a channel, but it was fine. Perfect Genocide. You've also seen this one, like, the castle itself is, like, more complicated in the design. Like, it has multiple sort of, like... The above one just had a top and a bottom floor, but this one actually has, like, stairs and things that you can move between, whereas the first one, it was just basically 2 maps with a teleporter. Oh, hey, it's great you can watch us while working from home. Oh, walking home from work, okay. What was the guy that initiated the cut? What initiated the cut was, I think it was specifically a clip from Pat Labor, which weirdly was on YouTube. So, like, I was just streaming, like, my monitor. And I said, oh yeah, this is Pat Labor thing, and, like, a lot of early Armored Core is quite Pat Labor inflected. And then YouTube was like, no, we're taking you down. You cannot show this. It's like Schrodinger's copyright. Where like this thing is both you're allowed to and not allowed to show it on YouTube simultaneously. Pet labor is not racy at all. I bring up pet labor about as much as Sin brings up Reborn, to be honest. Okay. Make some more. Let's make I just want to drop a vase on someone's head because it's funny. Yeah, pet labor is excellent. I have like along my shame wall, there's quite a lot of pet labor. Hang on, see if I can get the shame wall in shot. All those little cubes there, the first sort of like 3/4 of those are just bootleg anime DVDs from back when I lived near. I used to live near the Chinatown area of the Melbourne CBD, and I just head there all the time and buy like bootleg anime because it was really cheap. Like the place I'd go to, literally, it was 5 for $5, but you had to get 5. So if there's one thing you wanted, or 2 things you wanted, it didn't matter. You had to buy 5. I'm fairly sure they just wanted a really high turnover because it was all illegal. And basically, as a result of that, I have just a ton of shit. I have no idea what any of it is, and I still haven't watched it all. And we're talking like 10 years ago, 15 years ago almost, that I just collected this vast archive. I'm glad you like my clutter. I have a lot of clutter. Okay, yeah, well we've talked about doing CRPGs. The thing is, like, I don't know how well they work as a stream thing for us, because, like, they're very, very long, and it's like when I even have this issue with Armored Core, where, like, a lot of Armored Core is spent in menus. I was like, I don't know if people want to watch me in a menu. God, that's a good face texture. I didn't realize how high res this was, because I was playing this on a little shitty CRT. That's amazing. That looks like a photograph. Yeah, they're very, I think because, like, basically you're only going to be dealing with 2 or 3 models per area. Like, it's just going to be, like, you know, a very, very small number of people, so they can kind of afford to make them a little more detailed. Yeah, they're very, like, yeah, they do look like Ocarina. Oh, I can't set trap. Yeah, maybe this is Old Man McLive. Come on. Oh, he dodged. Oh no, I've been magnetized. Oh no. Yeah, it's the game I used to play a lot when I was a kid. Oh, speaking of evil playthroughs, I've been trying to convince Sin not to play Undertale. Because I know that, like, what's gonna happen is she will do the, like... She will end up doing, like, the genocide ending without meaning to. She won't understand that there's other ways of playing it. And then we'll get all these people getting furious at us for, like, killing Toriel. One of my favorite messages I got from Sin was just, is Final Fantasy an RPG? Truly there is no greater gamer. And I say that without sarcasm. Oh, Allison really likes Myst, but I'm trying to convince her to, like, stream things with me. Oh, this... I think, like, indie horror is probably a good idea for us. I actually want to get us to stream more, like, old survival horror games. It's part of why I wanted to do this, because I described this as, like, reverse survival horror before. I've not played The Witch's House. I have not played... If you look at my, Steam library, it's literally, like... It's 6 games of which I've played 1. I humiliate this man by dropping a vase on his head. And there we go. I think the problem is Sin, doesn't like playing long games. Like, she gets distracted and stops. So anything like Planescape Torment or Vampire the Masquerade or whatever, I don't think it would last. Like, you'll notice, like, she just said before she didn't want to finish Scorn because it was too long. I intentionally have barely told anyone what my Steam name is because I feel so bad because I've been gifted so many things and I've not played any. The only Steam game I've actually played, and this is true because I got my Steam report card thing from last year and it was 1 game. And all I did was play a factory automation sim called Satisfactory. To kill humans was my mission. Yeah, Allison got me into Satisfactory. I played it for like 70 hours, but like in 1 week, just obsessively building things. Yeah, Satisfactory, I played it up until I started needing to make, like, really complicated alloys, and then I'm like, I'm just building the same thing over and over again, aren't I? But, like, it's in early access, so I think there's, like, more you can do with it later on. I played Warframe quite a bit actually on PS4, but I never played the PC. From memory, there is a way to heal here. Okay, see you, Luna. I have not watched the Last of Us TV series. I don't watch anything. I don't even have like any streaming services at all. I know Allison likes it. She's been watching it, but I have not. Oh no, I'm sick now. So you can, yeah, this is like, it gets a little repetitive watching it. Particularly at the start when you don't have access to many traps, but... Something I can't show off because I don't have the right traps yet is that you could, like, there's a lot of environmental things you can do here, like the fireplace there, like you can actually knock people into the fireplace and it'll count as a trap. Like you could put like a springboard there. If I can. I might just see how this mission goes and then call it a night, because they're all very similar to this. And like I said, this doesn't have the castle building that the other one did, but it's a little fewer things. There's fewer things to do in it, but the things you're doing are like it. You've noticed like there's a combo system and everything the other one didn't. Ooh. Also keep in mind this is like PS1 pre-analog, so you aren't the most like spry thing in the world. Like it is fairly clunky to control. am... Yeah, I'm dead. So that was Kagero. Basically, yeah, like we were... I might actually reset this. How do I reset? I'll reset and we can watch the CG intro. There we go. It's Kagare and Kagero. I can actually see the disc from here, but I can't reach it. My friend. Oh, it does. Okay, here we go. Yeah, like, basically as a result of being so deep in Bloodborne fandom, like, a lot of my friends are really, really into old survival horror games. So, we're gonna try doing more of those. Like, I've got a friend who's really into Rule of Rose, which was a very controversial one that I remember when it came out here, it was actually banned in Australia because it was too violent. And there was, like, too much, like, sexual stuff. But like I have a lot of old like PS1, PS2 survival horror games just lying around. Something I played a lot of. And I thought this was a good series to start with because it's a little stranger. Oh yeah, I'd really love to play Fatal Frame. I've never played Fatal Frame. I've got I like Parasite Eve a lot. What else? Galarians, if anyone remembers Galarians. Which is basically like if you were Tetsuo from Akira with your like head exploding powers sort of wandering around doping yourself up on things to stop your brain exploding. The first Shadow Hearts as well. What was that called? Kudelka? There was like a weird like survival horror but with the battle system of Final Fantasy. Very strange. But yeah, I think that's basically it. I'm trying to think of something else I can put on while I'm talking. Actually, I have Blood Omen on this. Oh, here's a blast from the past we can. Who remembers this masterpiece? Will I wear a choker if you tip me $20? I don't have a choker. Maybe I should get one. This is, this is Bloody Raw, which is a series that, like, it went for a couple of generations. I think it's over now, but it's like... Oh god, look at these characters, they're so cool. It was a fighting game where you could, you could transform into like an anthro mode while you were fighting. I just remember specifically like one of the main characters in it is his power is that he's a mole. And when I was, this came out when I was like 13 or 14. And basically, when I was 13 or 14, I had, my little mascot I made for myself was a little mole. And I started being, oh yeah, there's like games with moles in them, I should like start paying attention to more of them. And I just like, you could be a mole. I'm bad at fighting games. Oh god, I'm sorry if that triggered an epileptic seizure in anyone, I forgot it did that. Should play Altered Beast. It's like a PS2 Altered Beast that has these like really graphic transformation sequences, if anyone's ever seen it. Where like, when you transform from like in the arcade game, when you turn into a beast, you just like flash for a bit and then you're like a bear or whatever. But in the PS2 one, when it happens, like you get these close-ups of like your whole body like ripping apart and like sinew and bone cracking and like your eyes being crushed in their sockets and leaking out and then like new eyes growing, and it's so grotesque. Like it's full on like body horror. There is a PS2 Altered Beast. It's apparently not very good. It's like a 3D beat 'em up. And it's like for people who don't know, like OG Altered Beast is like, it's like a Greek mythology mashup thing where this like centurion who's Zeus appears and goes, no, it's not Zeus, it's like some weird wizard appears and goes, rise from your grave. And you just like punch monsters and stuff in this vaguely like fantasy world. But PS2 Altered Beast is like cyberpunk. And you like at the start, you're like being transported in a capsule or something in this like a futuristic like drop ship, and it crashes and you escape, and it has a hub world and stuff. It's quite strange. Anyway, this is Bloody Raw. I don't know why I started running the demo of Bloody Raw. I'm gonna start running through just like what. Here's a series that I think there were 2 of these. It's just become like me running through retro games other people don't remember. So I can fast forward the loading. It's incredible. This is, I don't know if anyone remembers this. From as far as I'm aware, they only did 2. It was like this and a sequel and never again. But like, this is a I guess Final Fantasy Tactics like game called Vandal Hearts. Alhazred notices it. Yeah, yeah. So for reference, Final Fantasy Tactics never got a PAL release, so I never got to play it. But I did get to play this, and like I played a lot of Vandal Hearts when I was like 13. Yeah, it may have been before FF Tactics, but basically, like, a lot of RPGs never got to the West. I mean, not the West, but like the PAL region. So like they would come out, like they'd all come out in Japan, and then a tiny trickle would get translated to North America, and then an even tinier trickle of that would end up in like the UK and Australia. So we had a very, very limited number of like RPGs and strategy games to pick from, and like we did get Vandal Hearts. Yeah, Vandal Hearts got to New Zealand, yeah. So like I played this a lot, because it was basically the only like sort of tactics strategy game like this that I had access to. I love Tactics Ogre, like the Ogre Battle on SNES is like I really, really love Ogre Battle. I have not played the PS1 one though. Yeah, I played a lot of Vandal Hearts in high school. And this has like much like Ogre Battle, this has an incredibly overcomplicated system whereby you unlock hidden levels by like, there's just random squares in some of the maps that when you touch them, it gives you an item that you need to unlock like the final hidden level, but like good luck knowing that they're there, because like I don't think they're like signposted, and I never did it. I didn't even find out they existed until like I went on Game FAQs. Ooh, hang on, here's one that I never hear anyone talk about. These are all games I own, by the way. I used to play this. I had this and played it quite a bit. This is another strategy game that. So, like, who remembers this? Because I've never seen anyone mention this game. Like, literally, like, even when it was out, I don't remember people talking about this. I just had it. It's another strategy game. And basically, like, yeah, I don't think anyone really remembers this. The reason that, like, it stuck out to me is that you don't see it now because it's like late 90s CG, but all the artwork is done by Yoshitaka Amano. So there's like a lot of like really, really pretty 2D art in this that you're not seeing right now because it's all being like used to render these weird sort of derpy looking goblin things. But yeah, it's a tarot card based strategy game called Cartia. And Amano does all of the card art in it. I think the tarot cards, they're just like very, very specific. Like, it's like a card-based game. The idea is you're like using cards to create monsters. But all the card art's done by Amano, so it's like these really, really nice Amano designs. Like, it's all done with sprites. Like, they're quite nice. This is not particularly yeah, Cartier, yeah. Actually, I have, while we're watching this. Actually, I finally bit the bullet, and I finally bought a Rider-Waite tarot deck from my local, like, psychic and alternative store that I walk past. Oh, Alhazred remembers this. Excellent. Okay. I'm not the only one. Toxa Classica does sound like a name from this. It's I will get other. I felt like I was being a poser if I started with like a fancy deck. I started with Rider Waite. There you can see on the thing like very Amano looking profile on that that card there. What else do we have? Basically, I tried to grab as many ISOs as I could, and they're all just on like a little card, so I haven't got like everything. But I do have blood. I do have Blood Omen. So this is a fighting game that like. I don't think I have. I never got Nightmare Creatures. I tried to only grab things I actually had played like at the time. This is the NTSC version of Evil Zone. So the PAL version was slightly different. The PAL version was like uncensored. This one, I think it gives a bunch of characters pants who don't otherwise have them. Evil Zone is Evil Zone is weird. Evil Zone is a fighting game, but like it doesn't have
in multiple dimensions at one time, and
it just has like everything's just already mapped to buttons like fireballs and stuff, and it's all based on character distances.
The inhabitants of Ipreseru were able to temporarily confine Ihadolka in Evil Zone, but the danger is not over. Ihadolka must be destroyed before she emerges from
It is Paul Iding to turn it
Zone.
up.
To do this, Ipreseru called upon mighty warriors from other worlds. A tournament is held to select the strongest warrior to face Ihadolka. These warriors have many reasons for wanting to fight Ihadolka, but right now, they are warriors. Let the battle begin.
Yeah, the narrator is the Colonel from Metal Gear Solid. He's also the voice of the guy who kind of looks like Guts as the Colonel. There's like a cyborg who is voiced by the guy who's Duke Nukem. I don't know who else is in this. It's basically like every 90s anime happening at once in a fighting game. Like I was saying, I have the PAL version of this that's like... They censored a bunch of stuff like her, like the boob lady there, like her design gets a little censored in this, but in the PAL version they don't, so... I guess I should dig out my actual physical copy of this, which I still have, to get like... to get the authentic experience. Oh, okay, Battle Arena Toshinden. That was literally the first PS1 game I ever played. Remember when the PS1 first came out, you could rent it and like one game overnight, and it was like $40 or something. So the only thing they had was Toshinden, and I was just so excited to actually play a 3D console that I just played Toshinden all night. I had no idea what I was doing. I don't think I made any progress in it, and I couldn't tell you anything about it, but I did play a lot of Toshinden. I have... God. What is it even called? It'll come to me later, but like there's a monster-based 3D fighting game. Killing Zone. Okay, so there is a 3D fighting game on PS1 called Killing... I'll just turn this down because Paul Eiding's finished talking. But there's a game called Killing Zone that is like generic monsters beating each other up in a like a 3D fighting game, and it's awful, but it has this like secondary mode that's AI, where instead of playing as the monster, you're the monster's manager. So you're watching like an AI versus AI fight, and then in between each part you have to give the monster like advice and level it up to make it perform better next time. And I just remember playing that mode quite a bit because I'm bad at fighting games, but I liked the idea of being like coaching like a Gorgon to become a champion fighter. And I still have a copy of that. One of the most wretched things ever made, but I've got it. Also, yeah, this is... I just realized this is that guy looks like Guts, and this is made by Ukes, who did the Dreamcast Berserk game. The appeal of Evil Zone is just the really fucking bizarre, like, anime cutscenes in between each thing, where you're just... It's basically like you're channel hopping between 6 different anime, and they're randomly colliding with each other and fighting. I don't think I know Dragon Seeds. I don't know if it doesn't sound familiar. And this, by the way, this currently, the 2 people fighting are voiced by the Colonel from Metal Gear Solid and Duke Nukem. Because it's a demo, they're not talking. Oh, okay. Yeah, alternate mode. Yeah, there's a bunch of, like, barcode battling, like, games like that. I should probably go soon. It's 2:45 in the morning. Here's another one that I think a lot of people don't know. This is a very early 3D platform game. That, I showed it to Tiff and Autumn, the Celestial Hacker Girl Jessica developers. As like, hey, have you ever heard of this because it seems up your alley? And it's just like, Tiff described it as like a low poly girl with weapons fighting everything for no reason. And it's pretty much that. This is like, you can tell, like, this is 1996, like it's very, very early. There's our low poly girl. And yeah, this is this very early PS1 3D platform game that I don't think anyone remembers this existed. You know, it's kind of awkward to control because it's pre-analog, but yeah, Alhazard describes this as Bubsy 3D with heart, which is, I think, is a decent way of describing it. Yeah, this has tank controls. I guess a little more platformy. Yeah, this is the genesis of like a low poly girl fighting everything. It is unclear why. Oh yeah, I love Gunstar Heroes. I've never actually beaten Gunstar Heroes, but I do like it a lot. I like a lot of like kind of very difficult, complicated games that I'm also terrible at. So I'm like, yeah, Alien Soldier, that game's great. Real classic. And I'm like, have you beaten it? No. I think I got past level 1 once. It was too hard. I gave up and played Floating Runner. I have Dwarf Fortress, I've never actually played the Steam version yet though. They at least make the platforms quite large. I want to get into Dwarf Fortress because it is something I would get obsessed with, but that's why I haven't. See, I don't buy games very often, so a lot of what I play is just like, I played a lot of people's like roguelikes because they tend to be free. Like, I mean like old school roguelikes, not like games that are random. I mean like ones that were actually like Rogue. Oh, my giant feral cat is here, hang on. Your cat cam. Well. So that guy there, he's not stray, he's actually straight up feral. Like, he lived in a bush. And, he was very, very frightened of people. And basically, over the last, about 3 years, I've very, very gradually sort of, like, coaxed him into liking me. And, like, yeah, it's taken a very long time, but I've got into a stage where he can actually come inside. Because prior to that, like, he would just see people and run away and hide. But he's now sort of like, he's really only okay with me, hisses at other people, but I've successfully kind of, yeah, made him feel comfortable enough to come in and eat here. He's got a lot of like, he's got quite a few like injuries on his face. Like, he's like, part of his nose has been hacked open, and it's like part of the bridge of his nose is missing, and he's got quite a lot of scars because he's been in fights a lot, but yeah, he's just like, hey Metal Gary, sorry, we're actually just wrapping up. You'll notice this is not Tecmo's Deception. Yeah, he's a little feral guy who has eventually, yeah, he likes me. He's actually slept on my bed a couple of times when he doesn't realize I'm here. Because the bed is like right next to that, so I'll come in sometimes and he's like... This is actually the Elden Ring DLC. I'm farming runes. Oh, hi, TK Moon and I. We're actually just wrapping up, I'm sorry. I'm actually on way later than I said I'd be, but I got distracted by low poly games and cats. I'm just checking on me because you can see I'm moving. Yeah, this does look like Net Rose. It looks like, what was it called? Terra Incognita, which was the kind of standout Net Rose game. You can see he's eating and he just leaves, goes out the window again. I really want to do a Net Rose stream one day, actually, because I had, quite a... I used the demo discs, like, you'd get would have Net Rose games on them. Yeah, the demo discs that I used to get with PS1 magazines, they would frequently have Net Rose games on them. I actually have like a hard physical copy of Blitter Boy, which is one of the other Net Rose games people actually liked. It was basically like Robotron. Thing about Net Rose games is they had to be very, very small. I think they were limited to like maybe like, I think it's like 30 kilobytes, and it's way too small, but it was basically the entire game had to fit in the PS1's RAM. So you just had to load the whole thing and run it, so they had to be tiny. So why Terra Incognita was such a such a big deal, because it felt like, oh yeah, this game actually seems like it's got some content to it. A lot of them were just basically like, remember there was one that was just like a racing game, you just drive little cars around a track? I played that a lot. I played that more than a lot of like AAA releases. I like this because it actually looks like this is a test environment. The way that, like, to test like a UV mapping, someone just put a grid down. It is almost 3 AM and I don't know why I'm playing. I think Sin would like this. Oh, if people like my impression of Sin, Sin does an impression of me that's quite savage. Ask her to do it one time. I think she'll only do it if I'm not there. This is just happy. That's a vibe. Why am I playing this at 3 o'clock in the morning? Okay, that's all. Thank you everybody for showing up. Oh, thank you, Ayn Rand Paul. Yeah. Oh, okay, so like I actually I have like a fucked up throat at the moment, so it's I will have to do some of Sin stuff tomorrow. I can't do it today. But yeah, like my job involves I have what's referred to as a customer facing role. So I basically spend all day talking, and after a while like it just sort of like, oh god, my throat's inflamed. So yeah, oh, thank you. I'm glad. The Jersey Miyazaki thing is just like a shit post that has become like way just sort of extended beyond what it was ever supposed to be. But yeah, I'm glad people like those little note things. Because basically, when we started, like, if you told me that 5 years, like ago, like, okay, they'll like you'll have a podcast with someone and you'll work together, like I would assume that I would be the one who was behind the scenes doing the editing and everything, and someone else was doing all the talking. But it ended up the complete opposite, and like Sin is doing all the editing and I'm doing all the talking, which is not what I ever thought, because I always thought like, oh, you're like a behind the scenes person. No one should have to see or hear you. But that's the opposite of how it's turned out, so it's been strange. Yeah, so it is 2:57 a.m. Thankfully I don't have work tomorrow because the power is being turned off, so I can't do it. So I had to tell them I couldn't do it. And they said that was fine. But yeah. Well, the thing about meeting Sin is like it was completely random. Like, it was literally down to like she didn't even know she had followed my old channel and she messaged me but didn't realize we were the same person. And it was just like she just emailed me one day and everything just came from there. And I was okay, like I'll keep talking for a bit longer. But like I was thinking about this earlier today because like it is completely random that I met Sin, which makes everything seem very strange, but at the same time like I also completely randomly met a lot of people who I ended up not doing anything with. So it's a combination of like, yeah, it's a weird quirk of fate, but also like realistically, I would not have worked with someone who I didn't get on with to begin with. Like, I don't really care about saying this because I'm not going to be watching it. Basically, like, um, there were two specific guys who I was friends with in the 2000s. And they are both still on YouTube, and they started like they wanted to have YouTube channels and all this other stuff around like when YouTube started 2006, 2007. And it's like I think to myself like if it hadn't been for Sin, I would probably have ended up doing something with them. But then I'm like, no, I wouldn't have because those people are dickheads. And it wouldn't have worked out at all. But like I did check on them like the other day, just like I promise I'm not a stalker, but I just sometimes get a little like I wonder what happened to blank. And literally like one of them has one subscriber and it's him. And he's just doing like monkey cheese shit that was sort of like funny. It was the style at the time in the late 2000s, but is now incredibly tired. And it's just like, ew. And the other one is doing this, like, wannabe, edgy, stand-up comedy stuff to an audience of, like, 4. And it's like... Okay, but, like, I also met them randomly. But I would never have continued doing anything with them because they're awful. So it's like, it's a combination of like, you do randomly meet people, but, the relationships that you form, that actually matter are going to be based on something else. So yeah. Yeah, meeting one person. Well, actually, the thing that's altered the trajectory is literally just getting into Souls fandom, which I never planned on doing. Because like the whole history of all of this literally is like, um, I had basically stopped playing video games entirely for financial reasons, after high school because I didn't have any money, and I didn't have any money all throughout like my undergraduate, which actually took me a while to get to because like I've mentioned this I think in passing before, but basically I dropped out of high school. I didn't technically drop out, but I did. And so like when I was like the age you were supposed to be at college, I was actually working up like my credits to get into college. So by the time I got into college, I was like 23 instead of like when everyone else was 19. And so I had no money, and then throughout my college time, I had no money. And then what happened was, like, as I was leaving my undergraduate, which was in film production, um, basically they said to me like, because I like this is not bragging, because like your academic grades and the actual quality of the film you were making are completely different things. But like basically my academic grades were the highest out of all the people in that course. And they basically said like, okay, your grades are high enough that like if you stick around in the academic part of the institution, we'll pay you a scholarship for 3 years. And it was like, it wasn't very much money. Like PhD scholarship work is like, it's below poverty wages. But at that point in time, I had no income. And what I was qualified in was an industry that is incredibly fickle. And it's like, you can either look for work in this industry that's incredibly fickle and has no like stability to it, or you have a guaranteed income for 3 years, even if it isn't much. And I went for the guaranteed income, which is the reason that I'm a doctor now. But that guaranteed income is what made me go, okay, maybe you can actually play video games again for the first time in like 15 years. And that's why I ended up with a PS4 and a copy of Bloodborne, because like I should be nice to myself and get myself something. And that combined with like I had all this AV tech lying around from that time, like I had editing software and microphones and stuff. That's the whole reason I started making Souls content on YouTube. And like so literally it all just came down to that. Which itself was completely random because the only reason I was able to get into that program is because the lady who was in charge of admissions, who was saying I couldn't do it, went on holiday. And someone else replaced her who said I could. So basically, like, this all comes down to the admissions lady going on leave at exactly the right time. And if she hadn't done that, I wouldn't have got, like, a PS4. I wouldn't have made YouTube videos, which means I wouldn't have met Sin, which means I wouldn't have met anyone here, I wouldn't have met my partner, I wouldn't have made friends with, like, the Duckfeed guys, I wouldn't have made friends with, like, Aegon and Redgrave, would not have a Patreon, would largely not have an internet presence, probably, because I'd be too depressed, and, yeah, so that whole thing is just, like, it's all, yeah. I guess the other thing is like sin is a filter, because I've mentioned this before, but like back on my old channel, one of the things that used to make me like not want to do it is that I was doing the whole like I am being objective and I'm looking at things in a like very detached way, and that led to a lot of like really shitty people latching onto me because they were like, "Oh, you're Vardy, but you're like deeper and smarter." I wasn't. And as a result, like I mentioned this before, but like there were people with like completely unironic swastika avatars in my mention saying I was their favorite YouTuber, and that just like I couldn't keep doing it because of that, and like the worst people alive were like latching onto me, and basically what Sin did is that, like, she is so unconcerned with appealing to people that all those people just, oh, hello, Sin. We're just talking about you, that basically, like, shitty people can't stand you. That they just, like, they see and hear you, and, like, I remember there were so many threads on the site that will not be named that was some variation of, like, Sin's not supposed to be in bed. It's like Sin's fucking afternoon. I'm meant to be in bed. It's 3 a.m. But there were so many things that were like, oh, I love JSF, it is so smart and has all this important information. And then this stupid bitch keeps yelling and telling all these dumb stories, and I hate it. And it's like, all those people were the people I was trying to avoid. And it worked. Yeah, she's a fascist diffuser. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. So that's like what made me feel secure in being on YouTube again, is that, like, I know for a fact those people are just bouncing off it. Which is why, like, it's taken Sinclair Law 5 years to become 75% as popular as my old channel was after one. But, like, it's fine because 100% of the people watching this are nice. Yeah, the claim that I had Stockholm Syndrome with Sin, or that, like, I was trying to fuck her and all this other stuff. They're just, like, coming up with all of these theories about why I would work with Sin because I was, like, this high-minded law expert rather than fucking gay idiot. And, yeah. So yeah, think things have worked out, and, like, that's kind of like, this is the longest project I've ever done online. Because, like, I've done a lot of shit online, and this is the first thing that's stuck. Like, I have, like, 3 completely dead websites that, like, I ran for years and then just, like, had to walk away from because I didn't like them and I didn't like what I was doing there. And, like, yeah, I just thought after, like, maybe I just shouldn't be doing things, but, no. Yes, Sin is, Sin's reason she's here is her boyfriend bought her Bloodborne. So it's just, like, everything is just random. Oh, thank you, Marshy. Yeah, yeah. Like, I like, the thing is, like, about, based on, like, the numbers, about half of the people who watch us now, it's like 50-50, where, like, half of them are people who knew me from before. Because that was, like, the bump. Because, like, when I joined Sin's, like, when I started coming on Sin's channel, she had, like, about two to 300, like, 400 or something subscribers. And then when I showed up, like, I sort of brought, like, a portion of my old audience with me. So we have, like, about half the people who watch us are from back then. And the other half joined, like, later on and sort of only know me for this. So it's like, yeah, like, some people frequently ask me, like, why do people call you JSF? What does that mean? And people straight up don't even realize I'm the same person, which is flattering, I guess. The universe since the Big Bang has conspired to create this channel. This channel was created when, the power of the ultimate stand made in heaven accelerated time and created a new universe. And, after Sin and I died in the previous one, we were reincarnated. And everything worked out, apparently. Yeah, people think Vardy was me at one point. The weirdest comment I got on a video I did was like, are you Alt-Shift X? Who's, like, an enormously popular channel, and it's like, so you believe Alt-Shift? Not only am I Alt-Shift X, but Alt-Shift X just apparently for funsies on the side ran another channel that had 20,000 subscribers and didn't tell anyone? Oh yeah, Gary flavor. I can't get it from here because it's too far away. But I still have my carton of Gary flavored milk from two. It's 22 years old. I have a 22-year-old preserved milk carton with the word Gary written on it. Yeah, he is. People think I'm English. Sin thought I was English. And I mean, people think Sin is French, and like I know she's a Quebecer, but she's a Russian Canadian. Well, it's Gary banana flavored and Gary chocolate flavored. There's also a Gary strawberry flavored, but I wasn't able to preserve that. And I have oh god, I have. This is one of the most obscure items I own. I own a lot of obscure things. I have a Gary promotional postcard. So it's a postcard with like the Gary milk like on it, but like photographed. It's like on a park bench near a beach. It's like a beautiful like sunset and just a carton of milk with Gary written on it. And I'm hanging on to it. Um in case I ever meet Gary Butterfield in person and I'll give it to him. The problem with ending the stream and then just talking is that there's no natural endpoint. I guess for people who really don't know, like why, like what the previous incarnation was like, I still have my old ID card up there. Um, yeah, there's a slight difference between the two. Basically, actually, the reason I'm just saying there's so many trans people watch us. The reason I have that up is like you'll notice that it is above a little mirror that I have. It's like a dollar store mirror that I bought and just stuck there. Is that like every time like I feel depressed and I'm like, nothing's worked out, I've ruined my life, etc., etc., etc. I literally have to like if I'm staring forward, I see like old self above a mirror that's showing me now. And that just like okay, good. Yeah, that something did happen that made everything better. Yeah. Well, the other thing is like the little pixel person behind me, that's also me pre-transition, but like at that point I was just a little blob man, so it didn't matter. The weird part, okay, here's the, oh god, I'm so indulgent, but like, the other thing is that like, most of the transition stuff happened during COVID. And if you know anything about COVID in Australia, particularly where I'm from, everywhere was locked down like to a completely ridiculous degree. Like you couldn't go outside for like there were curfews and stuff. You had to provide like a reason you were going outside to do anything. So functionally what happened is I did not see a single person outside of my immediate family for 2.5 years. So the second it lifted and I started seeing people again, people didn't recognize me. And I was like, oh, okay, that worked. Oh, you're in Brisbane? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Melbourne was like the most locked down city in the world, I think. It just never, like, it was just people. Like, I don't know if anyone knows Goldtooth. She's an Elden Ring streamer. And like she lived in Melbourne and like she doesn't anymore. She's moved to America, but back when she lived there like we were friends and we'd hang out and stuff. And like she was like she really did not cope well with like the COVID thing. Like it was terrible for a lot of people. Like it was very bad for her. It was fine for me, but like we just have like different approaches to stuff. But yeah, like some people like really, really like hated that shit. And like I was kinda okay with it, but that was me. But again, there's people from Brisbane here. It's like, is this 3 a.m. for you as well? Go to bed. Don't be me. The thing about like me in isolation is that like because I'm like a PhD, I already went through that when I had to write a fucking like God, how long was it? About a 400-page thesis. So I was very used to just being locked in a room and not speaking to anyone for God knows how long. So like yeah, I was just very used to the idea of like, okay, this is what you have to do. You just had this is how you cope with not talking to other humans for extended periods of time. Oh, gay insomniacs are great, hi. I'm trying to think of what else is here. Like, what can I show without getting up? Can show. Hang on. I've shown this off a few times. I have an RC. Oh shit! I have a shrine to RC from Transformers. I'll make the thing a little bigger. It's like, this is a character from the Transformers movie from 1986 who, did not get a toy until 2014, but when they finally gave her one, they made a lot of them. So I made a little RC shrine of, I haven't got literally every figure of her because some of them are like $300. That picture behind, by the way, you can kind of see it there. That is signed by her voice actor. That's signed by Susan Blue. And yeah, this just sort of lives here. Some of these are unofficial. Like that one there, the little sort of chibi one, like that's not legally RC. I think she's called Nicey. And that one at the back there, that was $150. And it came with like 3 different boob plates in case you didn't think she was hot enough. And actually, there's like a my desk lights up, but I don't have it on right now. But like that sort of cube will light up. What else do I have? I have this is also quite rare. That is the mascot. Oh, you can see at the time it is 3:17. That's the mascot of my sister city in Japan. It's called Inagawa, and their little like Eurokara is a little pig called Inobo. And Inagawa is very small. It's like 30,000 people, and it's not really known for much, I don't think. So it's very very odd that like you could actually get this little die-cast car with Inobo on it. I got this because it looks like Sin, this little lion thing. Yeah, no, I also need to go to sleep soon. This is just turning into me talking, which I did not want it to be. You can see my you can see how bad my forehead wrinkles are here. You can see my my Elden Ring nil gender thing that I made. I had that hanging up behind me for ages. Thank you. I'm glad you like the skull. The skull actually lights up. But I can't because it's I can't get up at the moment to turn it off because I'm connected to things. I might actually go. The problem is also if I turn it on, it lights the whole room up, and it just whites out everything. That Christmas tree up there. There's like a little iridescent Christmas tree that lights up. Oh, that's Ludwig. That little picture there. Can't see because it's quite a low resolution, but like that's Ludwig as drawn by Vodka Folly, who's a Bloodborne fan artist we've actually had on once before. She's friends with me, and she was actually supposed to be in that the Durasane episode that we released, but she couldn't make it on the day. So talking to her and Lace about doing like a doing another one that's like the three of us talking about fairy lore, because I have a lot of fairy lore books. I still have the Piss Skull, yes. The Piss Skull is an old piece of Snack Covenant lore. You can kind of... You can't really see it from here. The Piss Skull... I'll talk about the Piss Skull and then end it, because it's been going for like an hour longer than I said it would. The Piss... Oh, hey, Asa. Asa, the stream's like 20 minutes overtime and we're just ending. I'm just explaining the Piss Skull. So the Piss Skull is like an old piece of Snack Covenant lore, where like I had a skull-shaped like water cooler on my desk at one point, and I would use it during the classes I was teaching and attending. And when the problem is like when I used it, the water would fall into a little cup, and you just hear this like trickling water. And people did think that I was like secretly urinating under the desk. It's like, no, it's the Piss Skull. And then I'd turn it around and show the skull. Fascinating lore of the Piss Skull. The problem with working from home is that the Piss Skull, people think you're urinating a giant skull that Microsoft Teams thinks face. So while you're trying to talk to your manager, there's a giant skull blinking existence. Probably. Oh, hang on, I've got one more thing to show you. Okay, one more thing. That. So that little snail saying Sophie rocks. That is from the same artist who drew like most of the weird little sticker things I have around my desk, and she makes little enamels. Her name's Leia Girard, and she makes little enamel badges of like bugs and stuff that I back when masks were mandatory, I had a little enamel bug pin, little snails and things that I'd stick in my mask every day, which Sin pointed out means the mask now had a hole in it and is therefore useless. But I think if you plugged it up well enough, it would work. And yeah, basically, like, I bought a bunch of stuff from her, and then she just sent me a thing saying, like, you're far and away, like, my best customer. Thank you so much for buying things from me, and she just gave me a bunch of, like, stuff that she made and, like, signed and stuff. It was really nice. Okay, so I'll answer Connor's question, then I'll go to bed. Do you have any plans for an episode on George R. R. Martin's involvement with Elden Ring and connections with his previous work? So, the issue there is that, like, I don't know enough about George R. R. Martin to make those sorts of connections. I actually, like, it's weird because, like, I was reading a science fiction encyclopedia the other day, and I noticed that, like, it kept referring to, like, a writer called George Martin, who was apparently primarily known for, like, science fiction and secondary world stuff. And it's like, oh, that's so strange, because that's like, it's like the Song of Ice and Fire guy, but it's like 20 years before he wrote it, and he's just George Martin, who like wrote some stuff about alien planets. And yeah, so I don't feel like I know enough about George R. R. Martin to like talk about it, and I would be fine brushing up on George R. R. Martin if the book's combined length wasn't like this. And I don't think I realistically have enough time to read and understand the entire works of George R. R. Martin. And then talk about Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring 8 would be out by that point. Having said that though, like if you've listened to our episode on the Golden Lineage with Alistair is like a George R. R. Martin fan. Like he knows the books very well. Both in terms of like the stories, like what happens in them, but also in terms of like the philosophy and politics of like how those stories work and what they're engaging with. Like he brought it up a lot. He talks about like, you know, the politics that's brought up in like Robert E. Howard, like Conan and Cole stories and stuff like that. So like talking to him about it, like that would probably be a better option. Aegon obviously is a Song of Ice and Fire fan because his name is Aegon. I don't know to what extent like he's that into it. I don't know if he's into it on the same level as Alistair is, or he just likes it. Um, and yeah, like I know there's a few people who are like they're into both, but I think a lot of them are primarily into Song of Ice and Fire. And I don't know, like, because obviously a lot of Elden Ring is like weird panspermia and meteorites, which, as far as I'm aware, aren't really a thing in Song of Ice and Fire. So, like, it'd be interesting to look at the stuff in those books that are like George Martin works, um, and sort of look into that stuff because, like, I find the lands between as a setting like significantly more interesting, I think, than what's actually happening in Elden Ring, which is not a slight on Elden Ring, but it's like there's all this stuff in there about like aliens seeding planets with like life and also making life out of inanimate objects and like sentient diseases that are like reforming the structure of planets like it's nanomachines and all the stuff about like the greater will, which appears to be a sentient force that works through movement and vibration, like all this really like out there stuff that like is I'm genuinely fascinated in. And I want to know more about that than I want to do like the sort of like the machinations of the demigods about who's seizing control. Like, because to me, that's like those stories are like I don't think they're bad or anything, but I'd rather just learn more about this setting. And I feel like if we ever get like George's notes, because presumably like he wrote like this big Bible thing for them to use, and I'd be really interested in just like an Elden Ring source book, because to me like that's kind of fascinating, and just see what other things you could do there. Like we brought it up before, but like it's I don't know how strongly it's actually implied, but like it seems like the lands between isn't even like a naturally occurring thing. It looks like it's artificial. It's almost like the lands between is like a stone spaceship. It's just been bombarded with meteorites to the point where it's developed a crust around it, but the crust is being eaten away, and you can see parts sticking out. Like it's that stuff is just like amazing to me. Um, yeah, yeah. The weird sci. And the other thing it does is like that I really really appreciate. Not enough things do it. Is like it's a science fiction thing that's set in a world that doesn't understand that it's science fiction, but then someone doesn't show up and explain everything. That's something that like it happens a lot in Doctor Who, where like there'll be like the opening sequence where like an alien will land in like medieval England and everyone is reacting to it from the perspective of someone who doesn't understand concepts like alien and spaceship and laser and things like that. And I always found those parts more compelling than like when the doctor shows up and explains what it is. And I feel like Elden Ring is like that. It's like the stuff about like the Scarlet Rot where like Scarlet Rot, we've talked about this before, Scarlet Rot seems to be like a terraforming thing like the black goo from Prometheus, like it's nanomachines or something that are redesigning planets so that the ecosystem changes and other things can live there. But the people in the lands between don't understand concepts like terraforming other planets, ecosystems. So they just see this thing that's changing the world and they refer to it as a disease because that's their frame of reference. And the way that like there are things that are blatantly like coming from other planets and things that are like but they refer to them as like it's a star because that's how they see the world. And like that to me is the most interesting part of like the mixture of like a science fiction setting within a medieval sort of world. And I want more of that and like sort of the gradual reveal. I think that like they're talking about like gods and things, and you realize like, oh, the greater will is a fucking alien. It's like I don't know. It's some like it yeah. It's like a colonizing alien force. It's not like a god. But the fact that there's no character who shows up and explains to everyone it's not a god, that you sort of figure it out over time. Oh, that's how this works. Okay. Um, and just the way it operates through like sending giant hands that seem to do sign language and like interpret vibrations and stuff. Yeah, like that. Like I was like, that's so cool, and I want more of that. And like I was saying, I would almost rather like an Elden. Yeah, the Anunnaki. Yeah, it is. It's ancient aliens. Like literally. Like Elden Ring is like it's ancient alien stuff. It's like they're all interacting with these like yeah, and but they're using like their own point of view to sort of understand it. Except it's actually is happening as opposed to just like refusing to admit that Africans could build things. So we have to come up with another reason. It's like no, this actually is happening. Okay, so it's 3:30 in the morning. This is well. Last question. Are you supposed there's more than one two fingers? Yes. Um, this is one of those situations where like I'm reasonably certain that the game at one point there was just the one two fingers, and then they decided there should be multiple of them because it's very very weird otherwise. Particularly like if you look at the Divine Tower assets where the two fingers are now, you'll notice that like they're there and they're on like a mass of sort of like dirt in the middle of the tower. And oh hey Derp says hi, sorry we've been ending the stream for 45 minutes now, but I can't stop talking. So they're like there and they're in this like pile of dirt, and if you remove the pile of dirt, there's a meteorite under it. And it's the same meteorites you see that are like embedded in the sides of the tower, and that like, it sometimes uses a boss arena as well. There's like a meteorite that you fight over, and like we also know that like the Crucible Knight bosses at one point were also on the Divine Towers. So like I'm fairly certain that like initially there was one two fingers and one three fingers, and then at some point they've shifted to what it is now. But like often happens when they do something like that, it doesn't all neatly change to the new version. There's bits and pieces of the old one left behind, so like it is a little strange. Um, but yeah, I suspect that like there was only one two fingers to begin with, and yeah. Also, like Rani. Okay, this is another theory I have, and like I'm gonna say this now, and if it ever ends up like Illusory Wall or someone proves that this happened, you can come back and say I was right. I have a theory that like the two fingers that Rani kills, it looks different to the others. Like this is something that's been talked about. It's like the fingers are longer. They appear to have an extra joint in them, and they're very pale. They don't look like the other two fingers. And I actually suspect that like that two fingers might have been initially in the underground areas, because we know that like there's a thing called the finger slaying blade that was used in the Eternal Cities to kill the Greater Will, the vassals of the Greater Will. But you find it's just in a treasure chest underneath like one of the big dead man in a chair assets. So like to me, I wonder if like the concept of like the finger slaying blade that's underground, you may have originally found that like next to a dead two fingers that looked different to the others because it's from another civilization. So I have a suspicion like that's why Rani's two fingers looks different, because it's like literally like from a different place entirely, and they've used the asset there. It's also very strange that like yeah, like Rani's like I'm gonna kill the two fingers, but I'm just gonna kill my two fingers, but also all the other two fingers are dead anyway. Like it's just like what? Um, yeah, but and also like the stargazing mechanic, and like we also know there were more meteorite impacts planned that they didn't use. So it's like the divine. oh god, whatever. My suspicion about the whole Divine Tower Fire Marzula thing, right? Um, this is just like, this is me speculating, but if this is like 75% true, I wouldn't be surprised. My theory is that like the game was going to have, like, you know how you burn the Erd Tree twice? Like you burn it and then it's like, yeah, we've got to really burn it this time. I'm wondering if the idea was like you could end the game at the forge, burning the Erd Tree there, but that wouldn't properly burn it down. So what would happen is like that's one ending, but then if you did something to the Divine Towers, that would open up the passage to Fire Marzula. And then when you're in Fire Marzula, you actually get the Death Rune. So that time you have the Death Rune, so when you burn the Erd Tree, it actually does damage. Like, I suspect it was something like that. Because it's very weird that, like, you get there, Melina sacrifices herself, and then it's like, you literally just wake up in Fire Marzula to burn the Erd Tree again. Like, that always seemed a little odd to me. So, I suspect it was something like that, because, like, Fire Marzula's, like, a massively important part of the world, and you can tell that like at some point it was probably connected to the Divine Towers. It was also probably in the direct center of the map because you can see there's like a storm drawn there, and like all the Divine Towers, if you drew lines between them, they all line up in the middle. And you know, it would make sense like they were probably part of Fire Marzula originally. Like they look like the same architectural style and everything. So I do wonder if like originally like you had to like there was some separate ending where like if you did something to the Divine Towers that would open the path to Fire Marzula at the end, rather than just the way that it happens now, which is a little like question mark what just happened. But anyway, yeah, it is 3:37 a.m. I am tired, my voice is sore, and my bed is right there, so I'm gonna go there. Thank you everyone for hanging around. And yeah, I'll Sin and I would like to do this pretty much every week if possible. Right now we're doing it at this time because it's the best time for us. But basically like the reason is I currently work a job that starts in the afternoon and it goes through to the night, so like this is a time that I can do it. But if I did have a if I ever end up with like normal person hours and I'm working from like 9 to 5, we would have to change it and do it at the start of the day because I couldn't stay up till 3 a.m. It wouldn't work. So yeah, thank you everyone for showing up. It was really nice. Everyone was here. We got to play some weird games, and we'd like to do this again. I'm sure Sin would say thank you too if she were here. And yeah, it was really great. And I have been going for 3.5 hours, so I'm gonna go to bed now.